The thoughts, views, and opinions are that of my own. I'm not a salesman. I cannot be bought. This is all entertainment. Let's go.
The cipher. It's the new cipher.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Peace, 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 and more peace. Y'all know what it is. It is a absolute and utter vibe. What it do? What's up? What it do? Let me see fire in the chat to make sure y'all can hear me. Make sure y'all can hear me. Let's go.
The cipher. It's the new cipher.
Let me get everything up on the screen. Running a little late. You see. Let me get it up on the TV screen. Let's go. I don't know why that's not working. Let me see. Okay.
The cipher. It's the new cipher.
Drink some water today. Y'all already know. Hydrate with water and have the right lotion. You cannot be ashy on camera. Really nice moisturized skin that feeds your skin, doesn't leave you oily, is good for your fragrance longevity.
It's the new cipher.
We got a long night, so let's get to it. Peace, 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 and more peace. It is a vibe. Welcome to episode 75, I believe. 75 lives I've done since I started doing lives. I probably should be at like 200, but I got a lot of things going on that just kind of supersedes content. It just kind of is what it is. Content it's my thing, but it's really not my thing. You know what I mean? I do it to come on, show love. I know I got supporters, people who really rock with me. So really I come on for y'all. Not the drama, anything else people got going on, or it's just kind of, or the next hot trend. It's just kind of like, let me give the people what they want, because I like touching grass. Some of y'all like hearing from people who touch grass. And I tell you what I've been wearing. For most of y'all who know me, again, EQ from Prince George's County, Maryland, Pretty Girl County, PG County is what they call us. I don't believe you got to buy the new fragrance that always comes out. I don't think everything that comes out is worth your purchase. I don't think everything that you should buy, you should be buying because it's new. A lot of new stuff don't resonate with me in general, but even then, is it worth it? Where does it fit in your fragrance wardrobe? These are all good questions to ask yourself before you buy anything or you're watching any content creators. Do I need that? Sounds good, but do I need it? I should probably sample it first. I'm a big believer in sampling. Trust nobody's word but your own. Trust your own body. How it works on you, the way it wears on me might be different from you if we're in different environments. It kind of just changes kind of how you view everything. Let me get it up on my phone. All right. So what are we going to be talking about today on episode number 75? We got a lot of things. So I'm going to give, let me see which ones I should do first. I think I want to do so y'all saw my last live. In my last live, I sampled Raja's Serenity blend. When I bought it, I gave y'all a price I think is a good entry point. Within a week, people hit me up and say, hey, it's at that entry point. What should I do? Said, I don't know what you should do. I know what I'm gonna do. I bought it. So I've been wearing it. A sizable little dent for a brand new bottle that I haven't had that much. So I'll give you my overall thoughts on Serenity Blend. I'll probably do that first. I also have all of the isolas. So I'll be doing a separate, y'all know how I do my lives now. I do my lives so I can break them down into separate videos this week or for the remainder of this week and the beginning of next week. You will be getting my broken down versions of my last live should be coming out. I think the Creed will come out tomorrow I think I got that scheduled for 9 o'clock. That'll come out tomorrow if people don't want to watch a full 3-hour plus live on that. We will also be talking about the best of Isola. I have all the Isola ones. I have Snow, Blue, Bird, or Verde, I believe. Yeah, Verde and Soul. So I will be ranking those and talking about all of those. I will be talking about, so while I've been gone for like the last few weeks, I've been into my green scents and I've like fresh green scents. This isn't necessarily vetiver fragrances. These are just fresh green scents that can be worn during spring and summer. I have those ranked. I was wearing a lot of those, so we're going to talk about those. And yeah, we'll get into those. I have 10 over here that I've been really rocking. So, and I've been enjoying the wearing experience. So we'll talk about those. Then we will go into 10 fragrances I will always recommend. 10 fragrances I will always recommend. That's going to be a little bit later on. Again, a lot of these videos, the way I will be talking about them, I will be taking breaks. I will be doing it as if I was talking to myself in a room, batch recording. So if you have to leave or catch the live next week or just wait until those videos get dropped individually, I'll be talking about those. In between each video, I'm going to get better at engagement and looking at the comments. So in between videos or even between number 1 and number 2 or whatever the case is, I'm going to try to do a little bit better kind of like engaging in the content instead of just doing the show. But y'all do a good job at engaging each other, so I really appreciate that. Don't forget to hit the like button. Then we have some, if time permitting, I do not like going over 3 hours, especially on a work day. If it was a Saturday, maybe, but on a day where people got to go to work tomorrow, I don't really like going over 3 hours. So depending on time permitting, we might get to those remainder of those Georgial fragrances. I believe I got some Duran Durans, and I don't think I did the sketchbooks. So I think I need to do the sketchbooks in Duran Duran. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So we'll do that. So let's see. Oh, and then, of course, on my first impressions, I have the 2 new Zed creators from Zaharoff, which is Justin and Ross's. I never had Justin's first fragrance he ever dropped. I always don't have a lot of Justin fragrances, but I don't have his last one, and I got a sample of it, and I don't have his first one, which I think was it Seamless, or Seamless might have been the new one. Anywho, so I can't compare it. I should have brought Ross's off the shelf. I didn't. I'm not about to pause the video and go do that. But I do remember that fragrance. It was Palo Santo was a really big note on that. It's a good fragrance, but it was extremely fleeting. It left me wanting more. It's like it was fresh, it was light, it was iris, Palo Santo. I believe bergamot was up top, a nice bergamot, and then it just kind of like it like the longevity. It's probably one of the weakest as far as performing Zaharoff. I think it performed almost even weaker than Citrine to me. And that's, it was cool like for like a gym session. Other than that, as far as I know, he wanted to make it like a work scent. To me, it didn't even last long enough for a good work day unless you work for like 4 hours at a part-time gig. For me, good scent, didn't have legs on it. Hopefully this one has legs. And I said all these things, I think, when I first talked about that fragrance. So, surprising. Ross is a good friend of mine, and I didn't give it a 10 out of 10. And George is I consider a friend as well. And surprisingly, I didn't give that fragrance 10 out of 10. Shocking, right? Yeah. So anyway, but I do have some biases because they're friends. These were gifted. That's also a second bias. And I would like to see both of them win. So that's like a third bias. But at the end of the day, one good thing about my friendships with those two individuals is they respect my honesty. So I don't feel the pressure. And even if I said that these fragrances were like a 3 out of 10, it wouldn't stop me from George even sending me the next bottles that he's going to make. So that's like no pressure. I'm not saying it in order to keep receiving bottles. I'm going to get those whether I like these or not. Generally speaking, I don't want to be cocky, but generally speaking, George shows love that way. So it's not tied to date. So we will talk about these as well. So let's see, where should we start? Serenity Blend. Full review on Serenity Blend. All right, cool. Let's get to it. Let me get a test strip and we will get to it. Before I do that, let me just go through the chat real quick, see what people are talking about. Peace watching from the Bahamas. Appreciate you. 99 people in the chat. Please hit the like button if you could. Savoir Faire is being worn. Enclave by Amouage. Hermes, Vetiver Intense. Good fragrances. Ormond Jane. Bajou Saffron. I heard about that. I think I've seen a couple people talk about their fragrance. I haven't smelt it. And I'm just not, I'm just not trying to buy a lot of things. London Spice, very good one. Joe Malone, Cypress, and Grapevine, Christian Provenzano, some Santal, Indian or Eden, Mojave Ghost. Everybody saying what's up. Pleasure over business. Somebody wearing that today. So that's going to be one of the ones I believe I'm going to be talking about as well, and the fire in the chat. So with all of that said, let's get to the first part of the video since we're 12 minutes in. Let me give me some water. I'm not doing no tequila tonight just because, these long lives, I don't like to be just sipping the whole time. Just kind of want to be on board. All right, y'all ready? Let's get to it. Peace, everybody. It's your host, EQ. Y'all already know what time it is. On today's video, I will be giving you my full thoughts, aka review, on the latest fragrance from the house of Raja, and this is Serenity Blend. Now, for those of you who have seen my first impressions on Serenity Blend, that fragrance, to me, when I smelled it, I was immediately blown away, to the point that within a week and a half, I saw it for a really good price, and I couldn't help myself. I had to get a bottle. To me, just to get through the cut and chase, if you saw my first impressions, none of that really changed. To me, this is easily a 9 out of 10 fragrance for me. It's extremely interesting. It is probably one of the best tea scents on the market. And it brings something different to the table. And I will get into that. So with this fragrance, what you get is a lot of florals, partially chamomile. So you're getting something that's green, herbaceous, extremely herbaceous, realistic, lemon tea brewing. It's has a warmness as if like you had this hint of, like a small hint of sweet, like honey, just a little bit. Nothing that's too drenching of honey, but a nice like honey tea. You can smell the warmth of it. So when you first spray this, I get some spices. It's just like this herbaceous spice to it. I believe that I don't remember all the notes in this. I don't get picked up on all the notes. And of course, I'm not about to read notes on Fragrantica or from the website. You can read that yourself. To me, a fragrance is about the experience. It is about your interpretation and how it makes you feel. So when I smell this, it smells like a tea bag, not the actual tea as far as in the cup per se when you first spray it. It's almost like opening up the fresh tea bag and you can smell the chamomile. You can smell, I believe, like some white florals. I don't know if don't remember jasmines in here, but I just feel like I get a ton of white florals in here. They're not yellow. They're not really, it's a hint of greenness in here as well. And I believe that can be from some jasmine as well. Mm. This is extremely almost meditative is what is very calming. It is a very calming wearing experience. Now, if you're not a fan of white florals, or if you're not a fan of like these herbaceous notes, and this is why I like a house like Raja. Raja, as far as today, might be my favorite house in my fragrance wardrobe easily. And that's because a lot of his fragrances don't smell like cologne. Let me explain that. Some people might know what I mean. Some people might not get it. But for the viewer who might not understand what I mean, let me explain. There's times when you wear a fragrance and it comes alive. It resonates with you. And it doesn't smell like cologne. It smells like an experience. So when I say cologne, think about like walking through the mall and you're at the fragrance counter, or if you think of a fragrance like Blue de Chanel is very cologne-y. And then you have these other fragrances that are like experiences. This is because of the florals, hint of green. This fragrance was released at the right time. Spring going into summer. This is a Sunday brunch. It has this invigorating quality to it. And the way it places when it comes off of skin is impeccable. But you have to also like the mid. You have to be okay with the mid, the chamomile. I think it might be some hay in here. Gives it almost this sweetness, this sweet woodiness to it. Amazing. And you get those citruses. As it starts to dry down, I feel like I get more woods. I believe there might be a hint of musk. I'm not, yeah, man. I haven't smelt a fragrance that resonated with me as a tea fragrance. Again, a lot of tea-based fragrances come off a little like Oolong Cha, which to me, all of those end up being a really good twist on a fragrance like Elizabeth Arden green tea. It just ended up being like a twist of those fragrances. This one is neither. I haven't smelled a fragrance that kind of like made me feel that way since Gucci Pour Home 2, which I have over there. Gucci Pour Home, the blue bottle, the discontinued bottle. I kind of get that, except for that had black tea. The problem with that fragrance is it didn't last. With this, I was getting wafts up to like the 6.5 hour, 7 hour mark. It's not loud. It just lingers, if that makes any sense. It's not something that's going to fill up a room. It leaves just a beautiful scent trail. And it's one of those kind of fragrances, like I live in the Northeast. So I don't live in dry temps. I live in places where things get humid. And oftentimes when you wear fragrance that's when the environment's extremely humid, you don't want a fragrance that is too sticky, too sweet. You want fragrances that almost feel watery, fresh, citric. I believe some floral fragrances also fit in that realm. These floral citrus fragrance. This kind of fragrance will work in high heat because it never feels like juice, like this citrus juice, like you put an orange peel on you or nothing. The way it's balanced between these notes, where no one note outside of a little bit of chamomile really stand out they blend really to perfection. Where this fragrance is really hard to describe by way of notes, it's an experience. It's about accords. And to me, this fragrance is all about opening up a tea bag first thing in the morning. That's crazy. That sounds crazy, bro. But opening up tea before you brew it first thing in the morning, you have your pot of water boiling. The tea bag is in the cup. In that first pour, and that steam hits the bag and you get that aroma effect. That's what this fragrance is. It's more than a fragrance, but a lot of Rajas are more than a fragrance. It's really about an experience. And to me, Serenity Blend is up there with one of the best tea fragrances ever made to me, as far as the realism of it. It doesn't smell like your Wulong Charles. It goes into a different realm of a tea-based fragrance. And I think that's why I love the House of Raja. It's not too loud. It gives you something that's classy and sophisticated. Now, let's talk about wearing experience. Where would you wear this? To me, this is a signature scent driver in the spring and summer. You can just wear this. It's safe for the work. It's safe for a Sunday drive. It's great for Sunday brunch. For those of you, I am going to make a Sunday brunch fragrance list. Probably be my next live, because 'tis the season for rooftop events and Sunday brunches. If you live in that kind of environment, DC, Houston, Atlanta, Miami, Dallas, California, people who are really Chicago, brunches, big city, New York, big city events, rooftop vibes, drinks, bottomless mimosas, that kind of vibe. Yeah, I'll be making a list and just expect this to be on it. Where will it be? I don't know. We've been getting a lot of rain in these last couple of weeks since I've had it, so I haven't had that warm weather like I wanted. But to me, the wafts throughout the day, the wearing experience is a beautiful thing. I go, at least, if I'm gonna be indoors, I would probably do about 8 sprays, 6 to 8 indoors. If I'm gonna be outdoors, you can almost go about, I always kind of say double what you're gonna do outdoors to indoors. You can do about 14 sprays of this. It's inoffensive, especially if you want to draw people in. If you want to draw people in and you're going to be outdoors, depending on your wind, you can go probably about 15, 16, and I don't consider that overspraying, because if you know the House of Raja, he makes, and I call it Raja. Some people say Roja. I think it might be Raja. But when you think about a fragrance like his, it's very European. It's the subtleties of the fragrance experience which makes this absolutely impeccable. To me, on a scale of 1 to 10, Serenity Blend is a 9 out of 10 fragrance. To me, easily. I paid for it. It wasn't gifted. This isn't promo. But this was such a fantastic purchase. It doesn't, out of all these fragrances behind me, it doesn't smell like anything I own. At best, it gave me the feeling of Gucci Pour Homme too. But even then, that was a little bit more black tea. Now, Raja does have tea at BG, which is also another tea fragrance, but that was a limited edition. If you don't have it, you're not going to get it. And that's unfortunate, because that's a really good one, but that's more of a black tea scent, and it begins to get a little bit darker as it dry down. To me, this turns into more woods, green. I feel like the citrus or the leaves of the tea never really go away during the entire wearing experience. This is just an impeccable, artistic, niche, luxury fragrance. And if you can find it on a discounter, which they are, I'm not promoted by them, so I'm not going to sponsor them because they don't show love. Use Google. Use Google. You might be able to find it for a really good price. If you're in my Facebook group, which is a private Facebook group. You have to be a member to enter. You already know what time it is. We share things there. I'm not going to do it on my YouTube. I'm just not give them a commercial. But other than that, 9 out of 10 fragrance. I am glad I bought it. Again, after doing my first impression, it took less than a week. I was intended on getting a bottle, and that I wasn't expecting it like this, to be totally honest. If you watch my first impressions, I said I expected to dump on this fragrance, and I didn't. So that's my thoughts with Serenity Blend. To me, I'm glad I have it. It's a must-have in my collection, and it goes well with the name of Raja, where it's easy to wear. It doesn't have a designer feel. The notes are so well blended that it just creates an accord and an experience. And that's what you should want out of fragrances, Serenity Blend. With that being said, if you own it, leave your comment down below. Thank you for watching. Peace. All right, first video. Love this fragrance. Let me get to the comments. And if you have any questions, now will be the time. I'm going to try to take breaks within videos. But if I was batch recording, I would just sit in here. I would do a video like that, and then I would take and edit out the fluff and kind of condense it and put out a video. But I don't really like talking to myself, bro. So I said, why not batch record on a live in where I can talk to people and engage? And you say, well, what to motivate people to watch your live? Well, because they don't get the questions, they don't get to ask me questions, they don't get the conversation, they don't get the family vibe. So they're just gonna miss out on all of that. So it is what it is. Let me see what some people are saying. Get them likes up. Where we at on the likes? Somebody, we got 118 people in here. Imagination or Serenity Blend? To me, Serenity Blend. To me, Imagination is good. Don't get me wrong. Imagination is nothing more than my gym scent. That's just like an easy wear for me. It's just like I put it in gold, but I almost strictly just wear that to the gym. I don't know. It's just, it's good, but it's not. Like if I run out, will I get a refill? Great question. I don't know. But to me, when you're talking about a realistic tea fragrance, to me, I think Serenity Blend is better from the wearing experience. Now, let me think. Imagination, overall performance, and scent trail, I believe is better. Actually, I don't believe, I know it's better. You're not going to put on 16 sprays of Imagination and not damn near fill a room when you walk around. It's just not happening. So Imagination is going to perform better if you're a performance junkie. For me, I be shaking and moving. I don't like being in one place too long. I don't. So, for me, like I don't plan on being nowhere. If I'm going to brunch, that's what, 4 or 5 hours, give or take. You get there, you get a meal. If it turns to a day party, you might stay 3 or 4 hours, get a couple of mimosas, a couple of, old fashions or whatever the case is, and talk to some people, and then you're going to boogie out and go do something else or go home and watch some sports or something. I mean, I don't like being no place too long. So I'm not really a performance junkie, but great question, because some people are, and I'm not saying I'm better than you or less than you. I'm just saying for me, I don't really care about that shit because I don't really want a fragrance to last 12 plus 15 hours. I don't. I just personally don't. Yeah, somebody says Serenity Blend to get lots. A lot of Roger Head. I mean, a lot of Roger Head's been disappointed in a lot of his releases. I've been okay with those. To be totally honest, I don't think there's been any, unlike Boudicca. Now, Boudicca, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I think I'm completely off the house, and not saying I don't like what I have. I just don't see myself rushing to buy any new ones because I find the house to be no longer uninspiring. I find Boudicca, and it sucks, right? Because it's almost like I have a beef with CP My beef is not that he's a good perfumer, Christian Provenzano. It's not that he's a good perfumer. It's because he has a reputation for redoing things he's done. I can no longer blind buy anything he does going forward because I don't want redundancy with things I already own. So, like he did, and I'm cool with having both bottles, Hanuman and Contrato. I'm cool. Those have differences. I'm okay with that. The problem is I don't want a third, fourth, and fifth version of it. It's not necessary. I don't like the DNA that much. So I don't want anything that smells like those fragrances from anybody for that matter. But if his name on it, I don't trust it because the same way he did Namir, and then he turned around and did Pearl Oud for Killian, then he turned around and did the same fragrance pretty much in Electimus. Then he turned around and I think he did that same fragrance somewhere else. So he's kind of like recreating his own thing, and I don't think the twist, although there are differences, I just don't personally need. I don't really want to buy. If it's up to me, I'll never buy another fragrance again. Be totally honest. I don't like clutter, and I would just never buy another fragrance. If it's up to me, I would just use what I have. I don't like clutter. I really never wanted to have as many fragrances as I have now. And I just like enjoying. I feel like my wardrobe is extremely elite. You can only wear one fragrance at one time. I feel like when I walk out the house, I'm the best smelling person that I'm ever going to be around. You can only smell as good as me, never better than me. And I'm confident in that. So because of that confidence, because I've smelt a lot of things, very few things will excite me. And this is where something like Serenity Blend kind of excites me, if that makes sense. I know I just gave a spew and I ranted, but that's just kind of how I view fragrances. Maybe you're not there yet, but when you get to the point where you feel like you smell a lot, you ask yourself, like, why am I spending hundreds, if not $500, $600 on things? I can use that money elsewhere. That's why, like, I'm glad that I had a lot of money, almost a year ago when I put a lot of money into MU. I put money into MU when it was like $120. As of last night, it was $950 as of last night. I bought some shares, and it's $950. That's a 23 in almost less than a year. That's like a 23% increase on my money. That's it, something fragrance. Listen, when you get to the point where you're good, nothing feels better than being really content, really confident, and just saying, hey, I don't mind experiencing things. And if I get it, cool. And if I don't, that's cool too. And that's a really good place to be at. Anyway, let's move on to the second part. We can talk some more, but I want to be able to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Yeah, yeah. So part of me almost wants. I wish I had the sort of connections. And I'm gonna answer another question too. I wish I had the brief. I almost want to get CP on, right? Because I do have a beef with him. And it's not a bad beef, but like my beef is more understanding. Like, why I think he's a great perfumer. I think he makes really good sense. But as a consumer of the art of fragrances, it seems to me lazy to do the same thing at different houses, like mercenary style. It seems lazy to me. I don't know what the brief is. I don't know what they told them. I don't know if they said, hey, that fragrance you did at Bodicea, I need you to do that here, and we'll pay you this to do it, but with a slight twist. I don't know what that is. I would love to interview and have, like, call it like the unfiltered, like behind the scenes, or call it a segment where I can really like kind of grill, respectfully grill though. You know what I mean? And kind of, I want understanding because I just think for somebody to be so good, it seems lazy. And it seems lazy because then I can look at houses like Zaharoff, right? And although George has this particular DNA, which has changed over time, he's not like he's doing things that I haven't necessarily smelt out in other houses. Day 3 fragrances, Mike is doing things that I haven't smelt in like other houses. Chris Classic is doing things that I'm not smelling. So people are doing things that you aren't smelling. And I know that CP is great. I don't know why he needs to do that. It seems cheap. It seems easy and it seems lazy. Again, that's me outside looking in. That's why I won't rush to buy anything that he has his name on because I don't want redundancy. Because if I spend $400 or $500 just to get another blue sapphire, I'm going to be upset, extremely upset. You know what I mean? Because I don't need that. I could have took that $500 and bought some, AMD, which I also bought AMD back in the days. I could have put that money in AMD and saw that rise significantly. So I just look at money a little bit different. Anyway, let's move on and we'll get back to that conversation. Somebody's asked me something about layering. I'm not the biggest fan of layering because I like what I like. And I think what I like is just so fire. Have so many fragrances, I'm not as bored with layering. Now, if I was somebody who had like only 20 or 30 fragrances and I wanted a new experience, then yeah, I would probably do that. But when I feel like I have so much heat, I can never get bored of things I have because I'm not even getting the opportunity to wear everything I have. There's some years, it'd be like 40 fragrances I didn't even touch for the year. Gucci Pour Home 2, I haven't touched in 5 years. I know for a fact. I don't think I've worn that in 5 years. And I didn't even until I was talking about Serenity Blend and I looked to my left, I forgot I had it. It's sitting right there. I forgot I had it. Pulse of the Night by Izzy Miyake. I don't think I've worn that since 2017, 18. I don't even remember if I even like that anymore. Now that I'm looking at it, God dang. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got some John Varvatos fragrances I'm looking at. Like, what the hell, bro? Yeah, bro. I got Eau Electrique. That's a 2017 batch. Not the one that smelled like the first Eau Electrique from Lane de Wheat DeLone. Like, I've worn that since what, 16? When did that come out? 16, 17, maybe 18? I haven't worn it since. I'm looking at a damn near full bottle of it. I got a 2016, 17 batch of Lane de Wheat DeLone. I got a 2009 batch or whatever of Lane de Wheat DeLone Intense. Like, I'm just looking at things and it's irritating me. Like, I haven't. Anyway, let's move on. All right. So let me put that to the side. So the next thing we'll talk about is we will talk about the Raja fragrances, the best of Isola. So that's what that video is going to be titled, The Best of Isola, Raja's Isola. So we will talk about those fragrances. Then I will take an intermission, do first impressions on Zaroff, because full bottles will always get preference over samples. Samples, I'll get to them when I get to them. I want to get to these Jers off, but they're samples. They're not full bottles. They send me a full bottle, I will prioritize it. If not, it's never going to be prioritized. But I'm going to get to that, and then I will get to my 2 top 10 list, and depending on where we at, we might have another conversation and might just have to do Jers off another day. It is what it is. All right, y'all ready? So let me get these fragrances on placement. I think I have them ranked the way I want to rank them. Give me a second. So my mouth don't get dry. Let me Somebody said we have 94 watchers, 194 likes, 137 watchers. Let's get that to 120. Or I'm gonna take an intermission. I'm just gonna stop talking. It don't really like. I don't really ask for much. Just hit the like button, bro. It is, and I wish that when y'all come back and watch this live, please just hit the like button. It literally costs you nothing, even if you don't want to subscribe, because a lot of y'all still won't subscribe to my content, which is fine. You're still watching, but I wish you would subscribe. But it's love either way. But at least hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? I ain't asking for much to bring you some different kind of content. Anyway, all right, the best of our solar. That's what I'm gonna call this. All right, cool. Let's get to it. Peace. Glad you coming in and join me. Y'all already saw the title of the video today. Today's video is going to be called The Best of Isola from the House of Raja. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am a huge fan of the House of Raja. I think within the last 2 years, it has moved to probably my number one fragrance house within my fragrance wardrobe. And that's because of uniqueness, wearability, and just overall feel and artistic way that the fragrances come about. And I've just really enjoyed going down the Raja rabbit hole, which I think in about 2.5 years, I think I went from like only owning Elysium, Parfum Cologne and Enigma to owning mad exclusives. And like most of this Raja wardrobe I have is all within a year and a half, 2 years, give or take. 2.5 years, maybe at most, but probably a little bit under 2 years. So I just kind of went down a rabbit hole, and I'm, for the most part, content and very happy with what I have every year. I look forward to the exclusive release that ends at the end of the year, but that's not what today's video is about. Today's video is about the best of our Isola from the House of Raja. Now, I have all these fragrances, which we have Isola Soul, Isola Verd, Isola Blue, in the new 2026 release, Isola Snow. So I'm going to rank these, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on these fragrances and what I get from them, what's my takeaway, and how to rank. So with that being said, let's get to it. So for my number 4, now number 4 doesn't mean that it is bad. It just means it's not better than the others. I like all of these. So let me just be very clear. And number 4 is number 4 because it's the least, but I was even surprised that I would even like this fragrance because I have a beef with the note of jasmine. Me and Jasmine are extremely funny as if we like each other. So at number 4, we're going with Isola Snow. Isola Soul. Isola Soul at number 4. Now, to me, I got this extremely beachy vibe, man. It is. So when I spray this, to me, I get heat. And when I say heat, I get sun. I get citruses, like a sharp citrus, maybe bergamot, or could be lime. Smells more like a bergamot almost, like a sharp, tart citrus. You get this creamy, watery texture, green thing going on. And it's almost like it's almost as if it had coconut in here, which I don't remember. It could have coconut in here, but it has this coconut-esque vibe where it's not suntan or sunscreen per se, but it's extremely soapy. It's almost like a luxury, like if you went to a Caribbean, like 5-star resort on the water. The way you in your mind would think how those sheets and beds should feel and the kind of soaps and towels that they should give you that's in the room, like luxury bar soap, That's what it comes off as. And that jazz, this is such a good vacation scent. This is a good summer scent. It smells like being out on the sun. I feel like there's these solar notes, like these aldehydes where you can feel the rays of the sun coming down on your skin. It's very airy, musky, beachy. There's this aquatic nature to it, like smelling fresh, warm air off of the ocean. This is just, this, I didn't think I was going to like it. I just knew I wasn't going to like this fragrance. But this fragrance is a absolute vibe. If you're going anywhere, where to wear this? If you're going anywhere where it's going to be, let's say if you live in an area where you have a pier, where you're going to be eating somewhere where water is going to be by, whether that's Miami or a bay or like downtown DC, you're going to be near the pier or anything of that nature. Wear Georgetown, wear a fragrance like this, man, in the summertime. High heat, and the florals will just do its thing. I originally, when I experienced this fragrance, was a 10 ml that I got from a purchase from Roger London. I was able to get a free 10 ml of this, and this what made me go out and buy the full bottle. I still got a little bit left of that 10 ml back there, but after wearing that, I said I had to get a full bottle of this. At number 4, on a scale of 1 to 10, is 8 out of 5 out of 10. And it's just, but it's, the thing with this fragrance is I find it to be very almost one-dimensional. It's more of a fragrance I want to wear on vacation, by the water, high heat. Like, I'm not really reaching for this in spring kind of thing. I mean, I'm not reaching for this like in the wintertime. Not really. I'm not really reaching for this in the autumn. If this is like spring, summer, this is like golden, especially when we get into that spring, right about now, that spring summer combo as we go into it. I sold a soul at number 4. I didn't think I was going to like it. I love it. Next up on the list. This fragrance is Crisp, and it's their newest release. And this could move up. I've recently picked this up within a month. Maybe in the last 2.5 weeks. I don't think I had this my last live. So I haven't been live in like 2 weeks, I believe. So I picked this up within 2 weeks. But I like the wear of it. And that's Isola Snow. Isola Snow. Now, what you get here is, what I get here a lot of is a mint note in here. The mint is very cooling. Mint has a cooling molecular effect on fragrances, and I get that in Isola Snow. You get this cooling, crisp mint thing. It doesn't go into peppermint. It's more of this crushed mint. It's almost the same, like it's nuances in this that I also get in a fragrance like Apex O Intense, which I absolutely love. Probably my most worn fragrance in the last 2 years. Apex O Intense. But you get that mint. I feel like you get some, I feel like this has ambroxan and other molecules. I feel like this is a very molecular fragrance. There's greenness, there's some woods. It's almost like some pine or something in here. It's almost like the pine I get in Green Sapphire a little bit, where it's almost woodsy. So if you think about snow, or you think about somewhere like being in the woods in the winter, the color of snow on almost like a Christmas tree kind of thing, like an oak tree or like a fern tree. And you can see the snow just like on it. It's very molecular. It's a very experienced. This is one I'm getting to love more. I love that cooling effect. I believe this one has a little bit more wearability than Snow. I mean, have more wearability than Soul, the previous one. Because of that green woodiness, I think this is something that I can't wait till wintertime to pull this out. Now, if you watch my content, you know how I feel about wearing citrus fragrance in the wintertime. Wearing summer fragrances in the winter when everybody else is wearing these warm amber like fragrances is a twist in something that's extremely refreshing. I think you'll get something like this with this fragrance. You get almost like that silver mountain water from Creed feel to it. It's an interesting fragrance. To me, I put it at number 3 because to me it has a little bit more wearability than Soul. And Soul still has that jasmine, but I love Soul. But Soul being this luxury bar soap is kind of really based on my mood. This is one that I think is easy to wear. It has this designer quality without smelling like cologne, if that makes sense to me. If that makes sense to you. It just has this approachable quality that's easy to wear. Um, but it has complexity to it and a realism that still keeps a Raja name. Now, for the Raja fanboys who are really into fragrances like Diaghilev and Sheeper Extraordinaire and fragrances like that, yeah, this is going to seem a little pedestrian to you. For people who just like an experience, I think Isola Snow is a really good, solid, not a great release, but I think it's a solid release. I'm glad to have it within the wardrobe. And that's at number 3, Isola Snow. Moving on. I think everybody can guess what my next ones are if you've been watching me. But this next fragrance, the best way I can describe this is an absolute cocktail. A cocktail. This is a party. This is confidence. This is easy to wear. This is fruity. This one is, I really enjoy this one. It has some greenness to it. It's just, you're talking about spring, summer, or even autumn. It's just, you can, and because I like wearing fresh fragrances in the winter, I can even pull this off then. It is a cocktail drink. And this is Isola Verde. Isola Verde. To me, man, this fragrance is all about the tropics. The tropics, man. It's blended absolutely to perfection. There's this fruit juice quality to it. Like almost like a passion fruit guava kind of thing going on here. Again, I don't remember all the notes. I don't really care about the notes. To me, this is about the experience of the wearing of the fragrance. And this is just another one. Because of the greenness, you want to talk about Sunday brunch vibes, rooftop, fun, cocktail, happy hour, easy to wear, approachable. I think all of these Isolas have a very approachable, easy to wear thing. Even Isola Snow, which almost comes off beachy and everything else, when you wear that in the right environment, it's a very plush fragrance to wear. And I don't think it stinks. So it has an approachable quality. Isola Verde is absolutely stunning. Now this one, I want to believe this one, I'm getting about 5.5 to 6 hours, maybe 6.5 hours on this. I haven't gotten great longevity in this yet. I also have not worn this in the dead heat of summer. I don't believe I had this last summer. Actually, I know I didn't because it would have made my best tropical list. I think I might have got this a little bit after I did that list, actually. I think I got this maybe about a month or two after I did that tropical list. Either way, Isola Verde is definitely one you should get your nose on. Sample all of these, blind by nothing. But man, it is when you talk about spring and summer, green, oh, it's a crush. It is a great fragrance to have. And that's my number 2, Isola Verde. And coming in at number 1, there can only be number 1 because there's only 4. Y'all know how I feel about this fragrance. To me, this fragrance, if I don't want to be biased, and I think about wearability, this to me might be my second favorite Raja ever made. And it's not necessarily the most luxurious, but it is just, you can wear this with anything, anywhere, do anything from work, happy hour. I mean, there is a cigar lounge, date night. There isn't a place you cannot wear this. To me, this is a fragrance and you can find this at discounters for such a steal. To me, this fragrance not being in 100 ml is almost criminal. This should have came in 100 ml. And if it ever comes in 100 ml, I'm going to buy it. I just don't want to buy 2 and 3. I'm really, as I'm talking here, I'm thinking about buying backup bottles of this. This is Isola Blue. I'm thinking about I should just buy a backup bottle of this. I love this fragrance that much. It's vetiver, it's citruses, it's woods, it's complex. This is probably my second favorite citrus fragrance he's ever created. But pound for pound, if not one, it is easily in my top 5. I have to really, it's a few more Rajas I kind of want to get before I really rank all my Raja fragrances, but it is in my top 5. And when I say top 5, I'm talking 1 through 3 is where it really sets at. If I'm going to be non-biased, it is not the most expensive one. Expense doesn't matter to me, but it's definitely in the top 5. It's, to me, there's very few fragrances I think should be a must-have in anybody's wardrobe. Very few. There's few I think should be must-haves. Isola Blue is a must-have in a man's fragrance wardrobe. If I look in your fragrance wardrobe and you taking pictures of videos and I don't see this, I kind of don't respect it. Respectfully. I don't. I think you should have it. You should just have it. I don't have Oligarch, the original in the Eau de Parfum and the Parfum. I don't have those to really compare and contrast the differences between the 3. But Isola Blue at my number 1. It is a must-have. It is blind buy worthy for any man 25 and up. I see my algorithm. My algorithm is everybody from 25 to 35. If you're in that age group, I think you should have a bottle. If you watch me, you should have a bottle of that. It's one of the only few fragrances I think you should have a bottle. And if you don't, I don't know if I respect your fragrance wardrobe personally, because it is such a daily driver and there's nothing you can't do. And that's my number 1 again, Isola Blue. With that being said, I appreciate you all watching. Your order don't have to be my order. That's fine. This is how I feel about it. But at the end of the day, I think all of these are really good, solid releases. Some greater than others. I think Isola Blue is a great release. The other ones are solid releases. Isola Blue is only one I would say is a must-have, but I like all of them. Isola Blue is probably a 10 out of 10. It's 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10. Fragrance for me. That's just me. You might not rank it that high, but that's just how I have a personal connection with Isola Blue. And I just think, Raja, if you're looking, if you have friends in the industry who may come across my video, I think it's criminal that this is not in 100 ml. With that being said, peace. All right. Let's read comments, see where we at. Blue is, I see some comments. Blue is, no, I got some 55 years old. I think I said, I want to say my out because I looked at my analytics today just to see what kind of people are kind of watching me. And it says 25, I think it go like 65 plus. So it could be 80-year-old people. I doubt it. But anywhere from 25 to 65 is kind of where I'm at. But my largest audience is that I believe 35, 40-ish, 35, 50, somewhere like around there. I feel like that my 40 to 50 is where, which is my guys, it's my group of people. You know what I mean? I don't have any really, and I believe when they say 25 to 35, I believe that's the order. I'm pretty sure it's on the upper end of that. I don't know how many. I don't think I have a lot of 25s, and I really have little to none below that, which I expected. We doing different things in life. I'm not offended by that number. I'm not a child. But, as those people mature in the game, hopefully they come across my channel and want to watch me when they're tired of being pushed. Latafa. Anyway, moving on, man. Moving on. No beef with them. All right, so I'm going to do, where's my knife at, bro? Okay. I'm going to do my Zaroff unboxing, and then we'll get to my 2 top 10 list. I try not to drag those out. I try to bust through those real quick, and yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll see where we are, because many weeks ago, people know how I feel about this fragrance, Faith. People know how I feel about that. There was a clone house that came out with a clone of it. I think it's the only clone house. I don't remember the name of it, but Larry in my group sent me a sample of it. Wanted to get my thoughts. I've been sitting on that for a minute, but I just haven't had time in the live to kind of really see what that is. So we'll get into it. EQ, have I ever blind bought a fragrance and didn't like it, but got hella compliments on it? If so, which one? Great question. Well, first I have to think, how many blind buys have I bought I didn't like? I think one of my worst blind buys ever was that, man, let me figure out the name. I got one because I got it downstairs and I do not like that. I need to offload it, but it's like part of me don't want to offload it to because I think it's just so, and I mean, influencers were loving this fragrance when it was out. I believe it might have been Redo who sold me on this fragrance, Redo Lessons. And I think after that I stopped listening. I stopped believing anything he said. Not that he's lying. I'm like, our taste might not align. Let me find the name, house. Was it this house? Give me a second. I'll find it. There's one fragrance, but the answer your yes, it's the House of CR's #1. Yo, I hate that shit. I hate that fragrance. It smells like plastic, bro. It smells like a plastic doll. It smells like it's cinnamon, teak wood, amber, some pepper, tonka, but it smelled, and I was like, oh, this should be a fragrance I like. It's tonka, it's amber, it's cinnamon, and it smelled like being in Toys R Us, and my little sister was during Christmas was getting all her Barbies out, and smelled like Cabbage Patch Kids. It smelled like Remember, all right, if you my age and you remember them pink muscle wrestler dudes, cartoon toys you had, they were like pink wrestlers. And they like different wrestler figures, and they were like this, but they were like little small pink joints, and you can get a somebody say it please. And you can buy like a little thing. I think they might have had a cartoon in the 80s or something, but it was like pink wrestlers. I think they came with cars and shit, and it smelled like that. And I'm just like, and I've tried to love that fragrance. That fragrance is ass, bro. It's not only do it smell like plastic, bro. It smell like plastic and cheap cough syrup. Like not like cherry cough syrup, because it had this cherry nuance to it. It's not like it's not like you bought the real cherry cough syrup. Like you went out and bought the really like Vicks and shit like that. It's like you was cheap and you bought the Rite Aid version, the dollar store version of it, bro. Yeah, fuck it, that shit. Muscle Men. It was like muscle. Man, no, it was like muscle. I think it was muscles, yo. Muscle Men. Persephone, if you in my group, which I think you are, we can talk. I feel like our soul. I feel like you can find that cheaper than 210. I just feel like you can find that cheaper than 210. Hit my IG inbox and I'll search around for you. You supported me since day. I'll personally do that for you and see what I can find for you. I think you can get our Solar Blue for cheaper than that, but I'm not about to promote that on my YouTube commercialized platform because they show no love to me. So that's that. Yeah, I think they were called Muscle Men, yo. Young. That shit smell like Muscle Men, a pack of trading cards, and cheap cough syrup. All right, PTSD, bro. Don't ever ask me no dumb questions like that because I'm a blind by king. But that shit dead? Nah, Jack. Anyway, all right. Let's get to it, man. Y'all threw me off, yo. Y'all threw me off. Hate that goddamn fragrance. And there might be a few others, but that one stuck out to me because I was like, oh, this gonna be the one. Like Steven was like, yeah, I think BFL was like, yeah, I think they was viewing this joint. And matter of fact, when they get off this live, I'm gonna go find out who was slicing that fragrance. I know Steve was one. I'm gonna find out who was. I might have to block him, bro. Fuck. All right, let's get to it, man. Get my bearings in order. Let's get to it. Peace. Glad you are here joining me today. Y'all seen the title of today's video. Today, I'm gonna be doing the first impressions on the brand new Zara fragrance from the Z creators. What is like 3.0 or 2.5 or 1.5? I don't get caught up on the numbers, but I was sent a bottle. Now, for transparency, this was sent to me by the brand. For also transparency, I consider myself a good friend of George Zaharoff as well as Justin and Ross. With that said, take my review with a grain of salt, my first impressions with a grain of salt. Understand that this is only your first impressions. It's not a full review. I haven't worn these. I don't know how experienced. Now, the first Z creators for Justin, I never had that bottle, so I can't do a compare and contrast. I did have a bottle of Business Over Pleasure. To me, that fragrance was like a 7.5 out of 10. The overall scent characteristics, that fragrance is all about iris and I believe Palo Santo. But it was so fleeting that although the composition was constructed good, if it had legs, it could have been an 8 out of 5 because it wasn't a lot of, and still don't believe there's a lot of Palo Santo fragrances out there, but it was just fleeting. So I gave that like a 7.5 or a 7 out of 10. Surprisingly, those are my guys. Now, I say all that to say, I'm going to be as transparent and honest with you and what I feel about this fragrance. Everything for people who have watched me, everything from the house of Zaharoff, I haven't said it's a 10 out of 10 or haven't deemed all of them to be great at all if you used to watch me. So if that's a concern, but at the end of the day, if you think I'm shilling, That's fine. That's understandable. And I think that's reasonable to think so based on my relationships. I won't be mad at you if you accuse me or if you think of me of doing that, but take it with discretion if you think that's what it is. And always trust your own judgment and try to get a sample of everything. That's my disclaimer for that. And that's just my honest thoughts on it. So we're gonna get into it. So we have Soul Elixir. Soul Elixir. Let me see. All right, that's the best way to hold it. Soul Elixir has almost like this pleathery kind of thing in the front. Has the jazz notes. Justin plays instruments, so that's him, and I believe the trumpet is what he actually plays. So that's that. And then we have Business Over Pleasure. Business, is it still Business Over Pleasure? No, Pleasure Over Business. Pleasure over business. Pleasure over business. So it's a twist. So we'll see. We're going to go with Justin's first because I haven't smelt his first one, so I don't have anything to tie that to. Now, what I will say is, and I talk to Ross more than I talk to any of them, even more than I talk to George. I will say, if you look at from what I've smelt, it seems like Justin. If I was gonna rank, like Justin's knocking his collaborations out of the park. Like if I had to rank them, you know what I'm saying? Like Justin's like that second soul is clutch, and even the new one, I have a sample of that. That's really, 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 really good. So let's get into it. This is how the bottle looks. Let me see. I love what they're doing. Is this plastic that can come on? Yeah, plastic that can come on. Rip. All right. It's almost like eel skin. But it's metal, but it has like this stingray kind of skin kind of vibe. I like it, man. I like it. I'm not gonna act like the notes ain't here. So let's just go over the notes. We don't gotta guess. Top notes: bergamot, mandarin, juniper, genicord, rum, and cardamom. Some of those notes are in Second Soul. I believe the rum, the genicord, the rum. I believe the juniper berry, which juniper berry and gin are kind of, juniper berry is used to make gin. That's kind of, so this may be really ginny. Okay, the top notes sound amazing. Heart notes: jasmine. What is that? Muguet, geranium bourbon, clary sage, tobacco, cypress. For like some of the same kind of notes. Has that kind of Second Soul kind of look to it. Bottom notes: you got patchouli, suede, moss, cedar, vetiver, labdanum, myrrh, vanilla, and Bushman candle. Okay, that Bushman candle, this probably gonna be heavy incense because Bushman candle, I believe, is used in about 3 of his last fragrances. I believe it was first used in his Black Elixir bottle, in a few others. So we'll see. I kind of have an expectation with all these notes on what this might be like based on the Bushman candle. This might be a very winter forward fragrance. Hey, yo. I really wish I would have smelled this first one. It's like he low key. I don't feel like getting up. I should have just bought the bottle down here. It's almost like he brought Second Soul back, but like with a twist. Hey, yo. So I told y'all the top notes is very similar to what Second Soul is, which you get this, to me, it creates this almost cooling, shaving cream, cocktail fresh. I feel like these need to go on skin. But I don't know how much skin I have. Well, I'm not doing first impressions on any other fragrances up here, so I might be able to do on skin with this. Off the initial thought, I feel like I'm getting Second Soul, but deeper. Damn. All right, this got to go on skin. This got to go on skin. This got to go on skin. Damn. Damn. Hold on, it's alcohol heavy. But I don't know if that's like the gin or like alcohol. So gin has a very like, I don't want to say rubbing alcohol kind of smell to it, but it kind of does out of any of the other alcohols. So I don't know if that's okay. It's definitely different. Like it first came off, now it's doing something else. So I'm smelling the citruses, gin, heavy on, I feel like leather. Heavy on the leather. Very gentlemanly. Damn, this is blended really, 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 really well. Because no particular note stands out. I'm getting more of accords. Off the rip, this smells like something that I would prefer more in the autumn, winter, or cool nights. Maybe like a nighttime vibe if it's going to be cool, not like humid. Tons of incense, spice, leather, woods. It's like it's certain elements of Second Soul here, but not really. But because my initial thoughts on paper gave me Second Soul a little bit, in future videos, I'll do a comparison of the two. Because they share DNAs. I wish I would have smelled this first one. Because then his first one would have probably made Second Soul make more sense to me. Because it would have tied into each other. It's definitely dark. Like, I think I'm going to talk to George, have a petition that Justin can't make no more fragrances. And the reason I say that is because these are limited runs, and I think that's a travesty. That might be twice of a travesty that, like, you put out something good, but like people can't get, like, some things I think should be readily available in rotation. Like they should, it's almost like somebody collaborating with Creed making a Ventus, and it was like a limited run, and that was it. Well, that might be extreme because Creed Aventus is next level. That's an extreme take. That's extreme. But y'all get my drift. But that was extreme. Like after I said it out loud and I heard myself say it, I was like, yo, this dude crazy as shit. Like that's rather extreme. Because Aventus is Aventus, and this ain't like from the legendary status. But you get my drift. Like when you make something it has this uniqueness. So with this fragrance, I'm getting pulled from different things. So if you ever seen a lot of my videos, y'all know how I feel about Second Soul. Second Soul to me is a masterpiece. Yes, I'm using the word masterpiece. It is a perfect fragrance from beginning to end. Very few fragrances are perfect. It has no flaws. It's not too loud, but it's not soft. It gives a nice sillage without being overbearing. It's a good gentleman masculine fragrance, and I'm a man. To me, it is the perfect fragrance, right? Oh no, it's different, bro. Oh, it's different. But this is doing something different, but it's taking from elements of that and elements from somebody put in the comments, what is if I'm editing, I'm just gonna edit this part when I look. It's a couple of Zara fragrances. It's pulling from, and I just need to remember what those are, and then I'll edit it as if I knew it. But man, not Precious Treasure. Signature Extreme Parfum Extrait. No, not really. It's not really. Hold on. There's one that it's not even Fragrantica don't have. What's the last Zara? I just reviewed it not too long ago. Somebody give me the last Zaroff that just came out. It's part of the Vaseline, the Oracle. Oracle. It's so this fragrance gives me elements from Second Soul with a side of hey yo. But like a little side of Oracle with like a little bit of Signature Noir Extreme. Like it's the the juxtaposition of these citric, these fresh notes with this dark balance. It's like good and evil. It is a symphony of notes moving around, orchestrated, and playing with each other. That I'm gonna be honest, this first impression isn't gonna really do it much justice because it's so well blended. It's like a lot going on. That's good. I'm not going to give it a number because even if I did, because it was gifted, people might not believe me anyway. That's good, man. Damn, that's good. But it's a dark fragrance. It is masculine, undeniably masculine. Can a woman wear it? Yes, but this is not unisex. This is a masculine fragrance. It's not as alpha as leather tobacco, but it teeters on this oracle. Like, he got a couple of dark fragrances in his catalog now. Beautiful fragrance. That is absolutely gorgeous. That's a gorgeous fragrance. That is a gorgeous fragrance. Soul Elixir. Soul Elixir. My thoughts on Soul Elixir. I think this is an excellent composition. It's unique, but yet has a little bit of George signature, as well as, from what I've experienced, a little bit of Justin has a signature, kind of how he likes to create fragrances a little bit. This is, when I think of Justin, an intelligent, now father, a husband, I believe is a teacher. He's masculine. Justin has refinement in who he is as a man. He's unapologetically comfortable in who he is. He seems extremely authentic. He doesn't want to be nobody but himself. This is how I view Justin. He's not trying to, Justin just wants to be himself. Since I first saw Justin when he decluttered, right before he decluttered, he's always been himself and true to himself. And I respect that. He doesn't put on a face to me. I see him as a refined man, a thoughtful man. And I think a lot of his fragrances represent what I think of him as a man. It speaks to that. And this has a level of class and refinement in it. And I expect nothing less from anything Justin puts out going forward. Justin, that's for you, bro. Chef's kiss. I like this. I like this. I like this a lot. I like that. I like people who are comfortable in who they are. Like, I've talked to Justin and he didn't try to yo me and shit. You know what I'm saying? That ain't who Justin is. And I love that. I absolutely love that. He's out, Seattle, I believe. Justin, I don't know if him and his wife moved, but I love that. And I have a good love for Justin as a human being. So that's how I feel about him. Let me put that over here. All right, the next one. Now, me and Ross talk a lot. And Ross has gone through lots of changes and still unapologetic. See, I remember Ross when he first came in, he was a car salesman. Ross was overweight to his liking to what he's doing now. I think Ross looks great. I love what he's doing, and I love why he's done it. Ross has dedicated his transformation, to my understanding, to his father. And as somebody who loves his father, I do, and I still have mine around. He does not. I think that's extremely honorable. Now, he'll go from 0 to 100 on some of y'all. I think he gives the internet way too much attention. But who am I to tell him how to conduct himself? You know what I'm saying? Ross going to give y'all too much attention. This is what Ross going to do. But I have a good love for Ross. So let me see what this is. This is pleasure over business. Business over pleasure. I like the makeup of it. Oh, goddamn. I like the makeup of it, but it was like extremely fleeting. So while this air out, I'm loving what it smells like in the air. So you get pepper, you get bergamot, you get coriander up top. Heart notes, you get lemon verbena, lemon valley, cashmere woods, Irish ginger. Some of the notes he had at first. Gaiac Wood, Palo Santo, Tonka, Musk, Patchouli, and Amber. These might be the same notes. I'm not looking at the notes of the other one. It might be the same exact notes, but this is giving me way, like in the air, I smelt it a lot. Yeah, this guy going skin. It's rich, woody, fresh. I'm about to curse Ross out in a minute. Hold on. I'm gonna tell Ross about himself on this video. I'm gonna let that do what it do. Now, Ross, you dummy. This is what it should have been in the beginning. What the fuck? This is what you should have did at first. Because the other stuff was just like really fleeting. Bro, this is what I wish. This is what it should have been at first. And I haven't watched any of these reviews and none of the stuff that Ross and Justin did. I knew it was coming. I got an email and I just didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to be already jaded by, my already biases. So I'm getting so the thing about Ross's original one is that bergamot, pepper, and iris thing in the beginning was extremely fresh, but then it's like getting turned on. It was the equivalent of taking a young lady out, and before you took her out to brunch, y'all was texting back and forth. She told you she gonna give you that crazy gawk and that gush, like you just knew. So y'all out at brunch, she getting twisted. You like, oh, bro, this. She already said in the text. She already said she gonna put that work. She gonna put you to bed. She gonna give you that night. Then you get home and she be like, I go to the bathroom real quick. You know what I mean? And then she just be like, she come out the bathroom, be like, her cycle on. And you be like, damn, bro. All right. Your mouth still work though. And then she pass out and go to sleep. And you just be like, all right, well, let me tuck you and go to bed. And now you staring at the fresh bottle of Jergens in your phone and you like, well, guess it's going to be some me time. That's how business over pleasure made me feel. It's like it was giving me things that I want where I knew it was going to be quality. And then it passed out on me and went to sleep. And meanwhile, I'm rock solid. I might have taken a blue pill or two, a honey pack. I was expecting for this to be the long session. And then you disappeared. And because I'm a gentleman, I'll put you to sleep, tuck you in. And now I have to spend all day finding the right video and find the right time of the video at the right moment of the video that I'm going to have my blast off time in. That's what business over pleasure was. This is giving me everything that it should have gave me from the beginning. Yeah. Now, this is first impressions. I'm not going to tell you what longevity is going to be. I can't. What I will say is the way it's coming off of skin, the way when I smelt it on paper that it kind of hit the air, it smells as if it's going to perform better. Doesn't mean it will. It could just sit really close to the skin, but my interpretation of this fragrance is this is what it should have been at first. This is what it should have been at first. That Palo Santo is coming in. So it's not lipsticky iris. It's this you get this warmth, soft, textured. Because Palo Santo is like a creamy blonde wood. And you get that with Iris, and both are giving you this warm, woody texture that's not dry, that's calming, but you have the citrus that's kind of like moving throughout all of it without overpowering the note. It has like, one of those, and it has almost a soapiness to it. Almost has like this soapiness, clean soapiness to it. You ever had like sandalwood soap or something like that? Like a sandalwood soap? Like one of them like men's fragrances. You can get them at Marshall's. I think it's the best place to get them because you'll find them for like $2, $3, $4. It has like this sandalwood kind of woody soapiness to it. Fresh, but not too fresh. Yeah, I like this. This is what business over pleasure should have been. So now it's pleasure over business. Thank you. Thank you. Should have gave me this at first. Should have gave the fans this at first. Jerk off. Anyway, let me get these bottles, bro, so I can end this video out and get to these top 10. So these are kind of my thoughts on both of these fragrances. As you've seen, my take. Now, take the thoughts for what they are. Take them with a grain of salt. Also, take whatever biases you think I have in it for reviewing these fragrances. Take that with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. But both of these are great releases. To me, pleasure over business is what business over pleasure should have been. It's coming off like it has a little bit more depth and a little bit better performing. You get something that's clean with a nice creamy texture, woody, with this citrus like citrus spice tartness kind of just flowing through the fragrance is what I get over this. It's just now, this is a fragrance I think is a great work scent. It could easily be signature scent. Now, there's some body to it that I don't know if I'm gonna wear this in high heat. Now, the other one, because it had a lightness to it, I wear it in high heat. I would also wear that to the gym, business over pleasure. I don't know if I'm doing that with this one because it's almost not fresh enough. I feel like the heart and the base were turned up more on this, which makes it more of a denser composition. Although smooth and creamy, a denser composition. Autumn, this is cool weather. Autumn, this is going to work. But I also think this could easily be signature scent. It's just I just got these. I'm not going to tell you to wear these in humid weather. I like that. For this one, which is Soul Elixir. Yeah, man. Yeah. You get something that's unapologetically masculine, refined. The notes are so well blended in both of these, but especially in this, because you can tell there's a lot going on, but the way it's really coming into its own and shaping, even when I just smelt it from the first time I sprayed it, there's this change to the overall body of the fragrance. And it's almost like I didn't smell the first one, which was the original one. But this is it's almost like you have elements of Second Soul, which if I smelled the original one, maybe Second Soul was elements of the original, but another gentlemanly fragrance. Both of these, especially this one, because it has more darkness to it, I think is more suited for nighttime or autumn, winter kind of thing. I don't smell this and think summer vacation. So I wouldn't wear that for that. But I will be testing these throughout the next 3 weeks. Now, will they be around? These are limited productions. Will they be around by then? No, probably not. They'll probably be sold out, so it'll probably be pointless. But either way, I'm going to come back and give you my thoughts on this in case somebody got them and they just didn't like them, and you was in a Zaroff group and somebody's trying to sell it. But if you're a fan of Second Soul, I'm pretty sure you'll be a fan of this. If you like Business Over Pleasure and you was like, it's just a little fleeting, I think Pleasure Over Business will make you happier, is what it should have been in the first place. That's my thoughts. Leave your comments down if you have them, if you like them, what you like about them. And if you just want to call me a shield, leave your comments down below. That's cool too. With that being said, peace. All right, moving on. Those are good. Those are good. I'm not in the mindset for them. I'm going to test them just because I'm curious. Like, I'm curious to wear this one along with Second Soul to see, kind of, because it has elements of it, but I really want to see where they differ. And I also want to see if I like this better than Second Soul. Because there's parts of this, I think I find this a little bit sexier than Second Soul. I think where Second Soul is very gentleman, classy, signature scent, masculine scent, I think it takes that, but then makes it sexy. If that makes sense. So, like, James Bond was always a sex symbol, but then this is like, I don't know, like whoever the hottest male, supermodel kind of actor, you know what I mean? The next new Brad Pitt, whoever that is. I just think that's really, really good. I like both of those. All right, let me look at some comments and then we're gonna get to these 2 top 10s. And then we'll see where we're at on time and we'll go from there. Yeah, man. I told her the mouth still worked. Guess what? She went to sleep. And you just like, oh man. It's like, oh man, like, all right, man, just go ahead and go to sleep. Unfortunately, you off the honey pack and you rock solid and you just like, oh man, I just gotta get this off. All right. You said they already sold out? Oh, well, that sucks. Well, I mean, if you can get a bottle, yeah, I like these, man. I almost hate reviewing these fragrances because about time Ross ingest them, because I think it got delivered what's today? Today Tuesday? Today Tuesday or Wednesday? Today Wednesday. I think I picked this up last Friday or Thursday. Thursday or Friday, I believe, when I picked that up. They probably were sold out then. It's like I almost need to like get them before they actually go on sale if I want to review them first. But they don't need me to review them to sell out because they're going to sell out anyway. But I think Justin and Ross has been doing this enough that I think it's about time they rather up their quantity, if possible, of what they make. Or damn, at least let me smell it and be like, yeah, bro, you should up this. you normally only have, 500 bottles. Yeah, you should probably do at least 750 bottles. Because, yeah, man, damn, bro. Ooh. Damn, bro. That sucks. I hate reviewing things that people can't get. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna edit that and put that out as a regular video. Now, maybe I'll do a full review, or if they make top 10 lists, they can be honorable mentions. But I hate putting out. If you can't buy it, it's almost like defeats the purpose. Thank you for the bottles, though, but it, damn, even on paper, damn. I'm glad I have them. I'm glad I had those relationships. That sucks. That sucks. That pisses me off a little bit. There's a few releases that piss me off with them. Second Soul pissed me the hell off. That should have been a regular thing. I was pissed off because I thought Oracle was a one-off, a limited, and Oracle is not a limited. I think Oracle is damn near a masterpiece. If not a 10 out of 10, is like a 9.798. It's like up there. Both of these, they're in the nine. I'll wait. But they're over 8.5. I'm not gonna call them a 10. Not yet. I didn't even call Second Soul a 10 until I wore it a couple times, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, this joint y'all slap." All right. I think I read the comments. All right, let's get to these top 10s, and then we'll see what happens. All right. Let me get these in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. All right. Let me get some water, and then we'll get that top 10 done. Couple, maybe about an hour and a half left. So that put us right at about 3 hours. So them Jerzoffs ain't getting talked about. Sorry. 4 bottles priority. All right. I don't need this knife no more. I'll just keep it in my lap. Peace. On today's video, y'all seen the topic of the title is these are going to be my favorite spring and summer green fragrances. Now, when I say green, generally speaking, people think vetiver. No, these are fragrances that, although they could have vetiver in them, they could have mint. They just give off this green, fresh feel to the fragrances. So you're talking about it could be some vetiver, could be some these grassy notes, could be galbanum, could be mint. These fragrances to me are the fragrances that I have been reaching for a lot over the last 2 weeks. I've been enjoying them. Some get more compliment than others, but overall, great wearable fragrances that you cannot go wrong with. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and start the show with number 10. At number 10, this is a fragrance house I've known about for years. In the last 4 or 5 years, at least last 4 years, this house all of a sudden out of nowhere just started getting a lot of hype. I don't know if it's because they started giving out bottles, but I know Sebastian been on this house for a minute, and this is from the house of Ex Nihilo, and this is Viper Green. Now, with this fragrance here, this is as green. When you think of, I've never smelled grass smell so good. If you want to think about morning dew, fresh cut grass, but in the most wearable way with this soapy feel to it, Viper Green would be the one. Again, a nice hefty dent within this fragrance. So what do you get here? You get mandarin orange, galbanum. Now, this is galbanum heavy. And to me, that note gives off something like, it's like soapy grass. Is how I would describe this fragrance. Soapy grass. And I believe might be some vetiver in here. If not vetiver, I think it might be musk. But I believe galbanum is the number one. Mandarin orange and galbanum is like the major notes on this. And when I say that, you would think like fresh cut green grass, I don't really want to smell like Home Depot. But I'm telling you, in the high heat, because of the soapy quality to it, extremely soapy, but fresh. This is just you're gonna be outside where it's muggy, wine festival kind of things where it's an outside festival where you're gonna smell grass or be around grass or florals. I think this is absolutely perfect for. Yes, I have received compliments on this. Nothing crazy, nothing like, oh my God, you smell so good, nothing insane. But I have received nice compliments like, oh, you smell good. I have received those. Not a lot, but I have. And that's Viper Green. Don't get this for the compliments, get this for the experience. And I'm telling you, this is work safe and just overall, just a really good, fresh, soapy fragrance with a green quality. Viper Green at number 10. Moving on. Next up on the list is a house that I ain't the biggest fan of. You know what I mean? I'm just not. I think a lot of their fragrances tend to be overpriced, but this is one that everybody raves about. You get a little bit of suede, some blueberry. It's grassy. And that's from the house of Bond number 9. And that's Bleecker Street. Bleecker Street from the house of Bond number 9. Yeah, man. It's green. I can't remember if it's oak moss in here or vetiver. It might be a little bit of tonka in here too. But I know you get this like buttery suede blueberry kind of thing going on here. Where the sweetness is like a natural sweetness, not a syrupy kind of sweetness like something like Lafayette Street. Overall, it's a good spring fragrance, but I like that spring where in early spring where you're wearing something where it's cooler in the morning, warm in the afternoon, cooler back at night. That, but the grass and everything is out. That's where I like to wear Bleecker Street. That's like where I like to wear Bleecker Street. Overall, solid fragrance. To me, it's like a 7.5 out of 10 fragrance. I've never been blown away by this, but lately I've worn it and I just enjoyed the experience. Now, compliments, over the time I've had it, I haven't received any compliments on this, but I just like the wear of it. I don't think everything needs to have a compliment. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, like I said, it's like a 7.5 out of 10. Not their best fragrance, but a nice one nonetheless. And that's Bleecker Street at number 9. Moving on. Let me spray this. Where we at? Number 8. All right. All right. Coming in at number 8. People think all I like to talk about is niche fragrances. And I get it. I do talk about them a lot just because I don't buy a lot of designer fragrances or at least not high-end designers. But this is one that need to be on the list. This is extremely green. It's fresh. It almost smells like apricot and pear. Smells like a combination of apricot, maybe pear, some fresh greens. Almost like a green smoothie a little bit. A little bit. And this is coming from the house of Hermes. And this is H24 Herb Vives. Herb Vives. Like, nice little dent on that. Nice little dent on that. Oh, man. There's elements of this, like I said, it is, I don't even believe none of the fruit notes are listed when you look at the notes on this. But I feel like I get a somebody who has juiced a pear before. I feel like I'm getting some pear in here and maybe like a hint of apricot on the side is what I get. Then you get this green, herbaceous thing happening in the middle that's extremely watery. Like, I don't know if ambroxan or there's definitely some molecules in here that flow around. This is one that I just like to wear. Again, this is a one where I've gotten tons of compliments on it. I don't wear this for the compliments. I wear this because it doesn't smell cologne. To me, it's just out of all the, well, I ain't gonna say out of all of them, but when there's a land of like Macy's-esque fragrances and designer fragrances, the House of Hermes always gets it right. I don't think they failed me yet. I have all the H24s, and this is just one that's just, I'm glad I have it. It's not my favorite, but the more and more I wore it, the more I like it. Now, that green pear, I believe it falls off, and I believe there's this patchouli. I believe patchouli comes out on this, now that I remember. I think in the dry down, it starts to remind me of fragrances like that Louis Vuitton fragrance, like a little bit of orange, where it's like ambroxan, patchouli, pepper kind of thingy a little bit. And it turns a little bit more dry, woody in the dry down. The opening is the best part. The opening in the mid is the best part. The dry down, it does get a little bit of it does get a little boring, which is why it's low on the scale. But overall, good fragrance. I put about 8 sprays. 8 if I'm indoors, anywhere from 8 to 12 sprays is kind of how I like to spray this. I just like the way it smells, especially the first 2 hour wearing of it. I really like it. After that, it just kind of goes into this synthetic molecule, patchouli, kind of like hedione kind of thing going on. But overall, solid fragrance. That's H24 Herb Vives at number 8. Moving on. Spray this one on paper. Okay. So we're at number 7. Coming in at number 7 is a fragrance that's fresh and invigorating. Now, when you think of green fragrances, especially if you start talking about spring, summer, or fresh, you start thinking about tea-based fragrances. And this is one that has citruses, tea. Now, it doesn't last forever. I believe it has like 5.5, maybe 6 hours at most longevity. It doesn't have the best longevity, anywhere from like 4 to 6, kind of hit and miss. But overall, I like to wear it. It's the only fragrance I have from the house, but it's definitely worth it for me. And this is from the house of Argos, and this is Neptune's Trident. Neptune's Trident. Again, I've worn it, and this was not gifted to me. I bought this fragrance. Yeah, man, it's green, it's citric, it's tea, it's fresh. Some people have said it's like it played a little bit on the imagination kind of thing, but to me, it's not soapy enough to play in the imagination field. It doesn't have imagination has this soapy quality, and imagination also has this longevity thing that it just works. But in hot weather, the way the citrus is in this there's almost this aquatic nature to this tea-based fragrance off of my skin that gives it a very like cooling wetness. Like in high heat, I can wear this and get away with it. In high heat, I can wear this and get away with it. If I was going to rank all my tea-based fragrances, where would I put this? I don't know. Maybe I should rank. I might have 10 tea-based fragrances I can rank, and maybe I might do that on another list. But overall, solid release. I give it like anywhere from 7.5 to an 8. I think longevity is kind of lacking. I got anywhere. Sometimes I felt like I only got 4 hours. Other times I felt like I got 6 hours. it was never really loud enough for me to really get a lot of compliments. And I've kind of played around with the spraying of this fragrance anywhere from I went with my normal like 8 sprays to even I think at one point I went to 16. It didn't really work. I probably should wear this a little bit more to the gym. It'll probably end up being a more of a gym scent. But on days where you say, I got to go for a run real quick, I just got out the shower, let me just put something on. I think Neptune's Trident is a good one from the House of Argo. Solid fragrance, not a great fragrance, but solid. And that's at number 7. Moving on. Yeah. So we at number 6. All right. Coming in at number 6 is a fragrance that it's it's extremely soapy, it's fresh, it's tea, it's like tea soap. This is one that it's one of my favorite DNAs. Is not my favorite, but it's one of my favorite DNAs. And it just works. You can wear this in spring because it has a green freshness to it, like a soapy freshness to it. But it has this sparkle. And when it comes to this particular DNA, this tends to last a little bit longer than even the originals or the OG. But this is a familiar DNA. This is from the House of Bond, number 9, and this is Shea Bond. Shea Bond from the House of Bond, number 9. What you get here is pretty much like green Irish tweed. To me, when I smelt this, to me, Armaf Trey Nuit was more Shea Bond than it was green Irish tweed, if that makes sense. For those who like clones or remember the clones of 2018-17, and they had I think Trey Nuit. It was more Shea Bond to me than it is Green Irish. Green Irish has that violet. I believe Invalid is in that. There's something that those other like clones tend not to get right. But Shea Bond is like you take that soapy quality of that fresh Irish Spring, you add some tea, you give me a little bit more longevity, that cool water kind of feeling. Shea Bond is just, it works. You can't, there is nowhere casually dressed up, hot, humid day, cold. If you like the green Irish tweed DNA and you want something that's going to perform better, I would say get your eyes on Shea Bond. Get a sample, see if you like it. And that's at number 6, Shea Bond from the House of Bond, number 9. Moving on. How y'all feeling? We still there? I don't see a lot of comments on my screen. All right, let's move on because I'm looking at time. We're at 2 hours. Yeah. Coming in, hold on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, number 5. All right. Coming in number 5 is when it comes to fresh scents, to me, this house just does it right. It really does fresh scents right. This perfumer does fresh extremely well. I can think of all his fresh fragrances from his personal line that just do numbers for me. It just does. And this one was no exception. This is like green tea matcha kind of thing. And this is from the house of Francis Kurtjohn. And this is Aqua Media Cologne Forte. Don't let the Cologne Forte fool you. This is a 8 almost sometimes 10-hour fragrance on me. This performs, and it performs like a champ. It has a green feel to it. Think fresh citruses, tea, slightly herbaceous. It's green. This is just when it comes to Kurt John, uh, he does like from Petite Matin to Aqua Universalis Forte. I've been trying to find a bottle of Universalis Forte. I've seen Universalis floating around, but I need the Forte. I have Aqua Celestial, which is one of my favorite. Of course, Petite Matin, Universalis Forte. I've been meaning to. I just trying to find. It's hard to find that bottle. I hope it's not discontinued, but that's a bottle that's hard to find. You can find the regular one, but not the Forte. Um, it's just I don't think he's made a bad fresh fragrance yet, and this is no exception. And this is Aqua Media Forte at number 5. Fresh, watery tea style of a fragrance that performs like a champ. Yes, it's compliment getting. You can almost say it almost goes in a realm of like that Wulong Cha without being Wulong Cha or Elizabeth Green Art. And it's like it's just a little bit separate. And that's Aqua Media. Moving on to number 5. Coming in at number 4. This is at number 4 is a fragrance nobody really talks about. I don't see a lot of people talking about this fragrance. I've kept this fragrance for a long time. This might be the first or second time I've talked about this fragrance. The notes don't do this fragrance justice because if you look at the notes, it doesn't show what it smells like. So this fragrance has cardamom, a lot of cardamom, and also has geranium, I believe. Now, if you ever smelt geranium as if you ever bought geranium by itself, like a natural or cardamom, both have similar molecules to mint. Very similar molecules, that cooling, minty, almost green feel. Geranium, depending on, can also go rosy, but I've also seen it go minty. Cardamom definitely becomes cooling. You look at it when it's used in fragrances like Ambient Crombie Fierce, it's very cooling. This gives off this minty fragrance, although there's no mint. It's extremely soapy. It's woody. This is from Fragrance du Bois. And this is Oud Vert Intense. Oud Vert Intense. This is your masculine gentleman signature scent worthy green fragrance. It's woody. This is just so damn good. If you like cardamom, if you like geranium, if you like vetiver, if you like Fragrance du Bois oud, wherever they have farm-based oud or they farmed it out, or wherever they source their oud from, because it's not Indian, it's extremely wearable. Ooh. Think of like fresh, clean, green woods. No one really talks about this. And I think Oud Vert Intense is a solid gentleman. Like, again, is it like I need to stop people and say, hey, what you wearing? Compliment people who need compliment chasers and affirmation. This ain't gonna be for you. Sometimes you want a masculine fragrance. Yes, masculine. Can a woman wear it? Yeah, a woman can wear what she want to say. Wear what she want to wear. But I just think it has a masculine, clean seriousness to it that, like, you can wear this to a boardroom meeting. You can wear this to a golf course and don't look childish. It has this mature feel to it without being 60, 70, 80, like Water Portugal, like old school. It's just a refined fragrance. Refinement all the way around. Nobody talks about it. Oud Vert Intense from the House of Fragrance Du Bois at number 4. Moving on. Yeah, man. Oud Vert Intense is fire, bro. Nobody, it is. Again, if you're the type that like, I want a fragrance that is going to get compliments and everybody going to stop me, that might not be for you, and that's okay. If you like that kind, that's okay. But if you want something you like, man, I want to smell like a man. So let's say if you in real estate and you selling houses, I don't necessarily want my agent to come smelling like Paco Rabanne, respectfully. I also don't want you loud per se. I think there's a level of seriousness and refinement that you can wear something that smells so good. It smells so masculine. It smells so clean. Yeah, people might not stop you mid-sentence and say, what are you wearing? But it's one of those kind of fragrances you will be remembered. They'd be like, oh. Or if you have a conversation with somebody like later on in the day, they'd be like, hey, whatever you was wearing the other day, that really smelled good. So you might not get on the spot, but it has a uniqueness to it. It doesn't smell cologne-y, and it's just absolutely stunning. All right, moving on. Coming in at number 3, this is another fresh, just almost like a tea kind of green citrus fragrance. This house has tons of molecules. Performance is not an issue on this fragrance. I think there might be only like 2 more summer-esque kind of fragrances I need from the house before I would, maybe want to do like an overview on my favorites from the house. But this one here, and you can see the dent does not lie. This is from the house of Mizensur, and this is Vert Empire. Vert Empire. Again, with all the fragrances I own, like these, even though people might not say, oh, I wish the dent would be down here. With everything I own, and I'm not like a serious oversprayer, that's a hefty dent. A hefty dent. So, again, gives off like this woody matcha tea kind of fragrance, almost goes into a oolong cha kind of thing without being oolong cha. Like, the more I'm smelling these green fragrances, I'm like, yo, I can probably come up with my favorite tea-based fragrance list. I think I'm gonna sit down after this live and really like weigh everything out and see if I can create that list, even if it's a top 8. But this is, man, it's invigorating. It's fresh. It's green. Springtime. It is so clutch. I've always said, when you wear a fragrance, I think a few things should be taken into consideration. How do you feel? What is your mood? Fragrance to me is a way of nonverbal communication. When you don't want to speak to somebody, but you want to wear something that can speak for you, I think that's what fragrance is. Fragrance can speak for you even before you open your mouth. If somebody once takes you serious, it's just a form of nonverbal communication. So how do I feel? What is my mood? Where am I going? What is the environment like? Environment plays a key factor in what you should wear, how you should wear it, and when you should wear it. Environment is everything. You can wear Invictus Aqua anywhere you want to wear it. Do what you want to do. But I also don't think if you're going to a cigar lounge where people are smoking cigars and they can smell that's just going to blend well with that fragrance. I think it doesn't complement the environment. I think when you can find something that can complement the environment, you will receive more compliments. when you are confident in yourself, when you can convey a message, when you are put together, when you put on a fragrance to complement your mood as well as environment, that is how you maximize a fragrance. And to me, when you wear a fragrance like this or a lot of tea-based fragrances, you start thinking about spring. You start thinking about, all right, am I going to be outside? Am I going to be at the Preakness? Am I going to be at am I going to be at a cookout? Or am I going to be indoors? Is this at a bar lounge? Or am I, even if I go to a bar lounge, do they have outside sitting? Is there outside seating by the water? Or is it grassy? Is it flowers outside? What am I eating? Am I eating fish? Am I eating chicken? Am I eating steak? Am I having red wine? Am I having white wine? All these things, people can smell that whether you think they can or not. And fragrance should complement your environment. In my most humble opinion, do what you want to do, but I also don't have a problem getting compliments. You figure that out. Take my words with a grain of salt. That's where I think this is. Mizzen Sur, Alberto Morillas, he puts tons of molecules in his fragrance. I don't think I have one yet that just doesn't kind of like work. And I'm like a 12, 10 to 12 spray, 8 to 12, depending on indoor, outdoors. Indoors, more like 6 to 8. Outdoors, more like 12-ish, 13 maybe, depending on where I'm going to be at. But this just works. And it's inoffensive. It's inoffensive. And that's the beauty about it. It's extremely approachable. And it smells absolutely amazing. Vert Empire at number 3. Moving on. Coming in at number 2 is an expensive fragrance. But to me, it's one of my favorite from the house, one of my favorites. This is a green smoothie, if I could ever think about one. It is a straight up green smoothie. I believe there's some mint in here. I think apricots in here. It is green. It is fresh. It is a smoothie. There's this watery effect to it, and this perfumer uses a lot of watery nuance like lily of the valley, where you can make something aquatic without it smelling like the ocean, or you can make something really like wet and juicy. Pause. And this is coming from the house of Louis Vuitton, and that's Pacific Chill. Pacific Chill. The dent is the dent. And when you smell this, this smells like I took some pear, apricot, cucumbers, maybe some kale, maybe a hint of ginger, a hint, and I put it in a blender, in a juicer, and made a green juice. That's what this smells like to me. This performs like a champ. Again, Jacques Cavalier he's been doing it since Izzy Miyake, where you can make something really watery or aquatic without using fishy sea kind of thing. Izzy Miyake was known. I think he used Lily of the Valley for that. I think he uses it I think that's a secret ingredient in a lot of his fragrances, where things just smell, rather Ambroxan or Lily of the Valley, where it gives this wetness to it. Pacific Chill has that. Afternoon Swim has that. Les Sables Rose has that. There's quite a few fragrances where it just has that kind of feel to it. This is no exception. Pacific Chill, easily one of my favorite fresh fragrances from the house of Louis Vuitton. This just works. If I'm outside and I feel like I'm not coming back in the house for another 8 hours, or if I'm gonna be at a cookout or something like that, I know this is gonna work. This is gonna last. Pacific Chill at number 2. Let me see. Somebody asked something. It ain't show up on my screen, but I seen it in front of me. So it said, well, um, somebody said, what we need? Somebody said we need that. Make it happen. What is that? Solid engagement too. Appreciate it. What you talking about? Zed creative? I'm gonna be honest, part of me is just time. Time in time because you just can't make up something and be working with George is a professional and he deserves respect. And I think when you collaborate with somebody, I think there's a respect thing. And most of that respect is respect for somebody's time as well as somebody's money. Because George, if I'm not mistaken, is funding most of this. Um, I think there's a level of attention and time that needs to be gifted to a lot of these things. I don't think you just send a brief and just say, send me some stuff. Like, if I'm not mistaken, Ross and them fly out to Chicago, they bagging stuff up, they signing stuff. It's a lot that goes to it. And you got to respect the art of it. And part of that respect is time. And I'm big on time. Y'all know that with me. And yeah, man, I think I just don't think it's time for me to collab with anybody on making a fragrance, if I'm gonna be totally honest. Um I just don't have it. But one day it might come. We'll see. But shoot, I just want to be able to drop constant lives because I want my lives to be so consistent that I can just start doing members only lives because y'all know I'm gonna have a live. So I can just have members only lives where I can really and I like playing music and stuff. So part of me is like, well, maybe I need to go to Patreon because I know Patreon allows you to do more than YouTube. It's kind of that thing. So I don't know. It's a lot to it. I feel like you can say more on Patreon. It's just I've been doing a lot of thinking like how can I just kind of expand. And then if I have members live, because I can kind of look at a number, I would like to also buy fragrances and do giveaways based on how many members I have, paying members I have. Take some of that money back and buy fragrances and do flat out giveaways. But you know me, if I'm gonna buy something, I'm gonna buy some heat. You know what I mean? I'll fuck around and take some money and buy Harris Parfum per home and give that away. You know what I'm saying? It's a tax write-off anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all tax write-off. So yeah, that's how I would want to do. But you got to do the small things first. Consistency. Can I promise people X amount of content every week? Like I disappear too much for that, to be totally honest. Anyway, let's get to number one and we'll do some more talking. All right. I don't even need to spray this. I know what this is. We can get to it. Coming in at my number one green fragrance for the year. This is one of my, I got this, or at least I got a 10 ml sample of this fragrance back in 2025. Since I've had it, it's been one of my favorite fragrances to wear. I've put so many people onto this fragrance. And when you talk compliments, this fragrance gets compliments. When you talk longevity, this fragrance has longevity. This is from a house that doesn't primarily focus on beast mode or longevity. It has beast mode and longevity. I'm getting 10 hours plus on this. 10 from a house that does not specialize in that. This is from the house of Raja. This is Apex O Intense. Apex O Intense. Now, some of y'all gonna say, damn, you don't really got that much of a bottle. What y'all have to remember is I had a 10 ml of this that I went through in less than 2 weeks. That's how much I was wearing that. Like that. Every time I've let people who are not in the fragrances smell this, and they said, "Oh, I need to buy this today." And then when they bought it, they said they've been wearing it and they have received compliments. This thing here, man, a lot of Raja fans or Roja fans didn't really get it, and I do not like the other Apexes. It's not that they're bad. They not for me. I think the other one is a little bit too mossy. The second one, the first one was just kind of cool. This is elite juice to me. It is unique. I believe this also has cardamom. I believe. I know it has like crushed mint, some ambroxan, some woods. There's a saltiness to it. When you talk about, and like I said, this is 10 plus hours, man. Apex O Intense is a must have. This has been in the last, like, one of my favorite purchases. And I've purchased a lot of heat from Roger. But I can wear this any season, anytime, signature scent weather. Because of that fresh, zingy, crushed mint cardamom thing going on, wear this in the wintertime against that cooling of this is elite juice, bro. I understand it. People who are used to Raja dropping fragrances like Terradot, Terrandot, or Terrandot, fragrances like Sheeper Extraordinaire, Diaghilev, Great Britain. People who are used to that, and I have those, will smell something like this and say, why? Because it's good. And I believe Cotton, if I'm not mistaken, Cotton did this. The only thing I didn't really care for Cotton was the Neiman Marcus. I'm not bad. The Neiman Marcus, I smelled it. I'm cool on that. I'm cool. Not that it's a bad fragrance, but it's uninspiring. It doesn't resonate with me. It's cool. It's like some fruits and leather suede. It's cool. Elysium Noir, I love that fragrance, but I do understand it goes into a Bleu de Chanel, so that can be offensive to people who be like, why did Raja start getting into cloning? But it's not Bleu de Chanel. It's so much more different. It has more depth, but I do understand that criticism. I don't understand. It's okay to just want to smell good sometimes. Raja fans, it's okay to just be like, y'all just want to smell good. Apex O Intense is that fragrance you say, bro, I want to go outside and just smell. You don't even got to spray it on and keep doing this. It's almost too strong to do that. Just spray it on and go. Trust me, the scent trail and projection is going to do what it do. Just trust me, it's going to work. 10 sprays, 8 to 10. Trust me, 8 to 10. Yes. Just go. You will feel spaces as you walk around. If you're in an office space, I don't know about all that. Office space, maybe 3, 4 at the most, because you will feel spaces as you walk. People would know you was in a room even when you exit a room. It just kind of lingers like that. It's like herpes, the gift that keeps giving. Anyway, man, Apex O Intense is my number one great fragrance. One of my favorite purchases in the last 2 years. Easily one of my favorite purchases, pound for pound. Apex O Intense. So, people, that was my favorite green fragrances for 2026 that I have been wearing in spring. These are fragrances that you can also wear in the summer. And may I dare it, some of these fresh fragrances would even work really well in the winter. If you have any of these, tell me your experience down below in the comments. With that being said, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on your way out. Peace. All right. One more video. Can I kill it in 30 minutes? I can try to rush it without rushing it, and that'll be put us right at 3 hours. Zhirjov is going to get skipped. The Zaharov stuff, I mean, it's sold out. I don't know why I'm doing a full review on that, but I will do it for the sake of doing it. You know, I'm going to wear that. Bro, I mean, bro. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed for a couple of reasons. One, their second Z creators, they did 120 ml. So one, why wasn't both of these fragrances in 120 ml? Shut up. I don't want to hear y'all voices. Yes, I'm talking to Justin and and George and Ross. Shut up. Shut your mouth. They should have been 120 mil. So let's start there. But the cost. Shut up. I ain't trying to hear it. Let's start there. It should have been 120 mil. But y'all gave us really good plaques because sometimes on his 60 mils, like the plaques aren't as extravagant as the 120. So I appreciate that. Justin can't make any more. He keep making out stuff that should be in regular rotation. And the fact that they aren't is annoying. It's annoying a little bit. And I have bottles. Well, I don't have all Justin's. It's 2 I don't have in his, but the ones I do have, it's almost like if you didn't have Second Soul, there's similarities there. Without me putting them side by side, there's similarities there between Second Soul and this. There's something in the base of this, and I don't know if it's the Bushman candle, where it's like this waxy, almost incense. There's something in the base. Was Tonka in this? Where's my paper for this? Was Tonka in this? There's something in this that's making it extremely sexy. I feel like, here you go. Was Tonka in this? Mirror Vanilla Bushman candle, suede moss, lavender, cedar whoop, Julia, geranium bourbon, geranium. No Tonka. Maybe it's just the vanilla, and the vanilla in combination with other things. Damn, bro. Enough of you, Justin. Enough of you. Y'all seen that meme with Candy Burris, and she's like, yes. Yeah, that's pleasure over business. Should have gave me this at first. Anyway, enough of that because y'all can't get them, and that sucks. And I don't really like talking about things y'all can't get per se. I guess they'll just, if they being listed, they are being honorable mentions just because they have to be listed. But that's unfortunate, bro. That is unfortunate. All right, where we at, man? I'm a little upset. I am a little upset though. I got a bottle. I just think some things should just be. I don't know, man. I think some things should just be available. I think some things the world should just experience. I don't think everything needs to be limited. I do get there's a monetary value, but I also understand that the notebook, the note paper that has the notes and how much in this, it isn't thrown away. I'm sure it's on a flash drive somewhere. I don't know. Come up with some money and bring some shit back for a limited run, 5 pieces or whatever. I mean, I get it because Justin and them were putting their plaques on. Like, it's very personalized. I get it, but you're going to make me fly over to Dubai, take your fragrances and get somebody to hire Christian Provenzano to clone your shit, bro. For the 40. Keep pissing me off. All right, man. Moving on. Let me get my list. Hold on, man. I know some honorable mentions here. Let me see what we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 10 in like an honorable mention. So okay, let me get these honorable mentions out of the way. Let me get these honorable mentions over there. All right, I think I'm ready. And I got 10. I don't even have these in order though. All right, they're not going to be in order. Okay. I don't feel like ordering them because they're not in order. All right. I think I'm ready. And this will be the last one. Hold on, what did it say? 275 plus tax versus one. What's the 275? Melvin, what's the 275? Because I ain't been keeping up with the chat. I know I seen somebody posted in the group the Elysium Noir, bro. That shit is so. To me, like that is what Blue de Chanel L'Exclusive should have been. I don't even. If you got, listen, I love Blue de Chanel. I bought Less Exclusive, did the first impressions, took that shit back. That was some weak sauce. I was not paying. What was that like? Wasn't that like $250, almost $300? Nah, bro, that shit was hot garbage. I mean, I ain't gonna call it. Yeah, it is kind of garbage. I mean, and garbage is kind of a reach, but it wasn't worth it. Anyway, all right, let's get this video in because this is the last video of the day, and then we can shut it down. Peace. On today's video, we're going to be talking about 10 fragrances I will always recommend. This is no matter what I have in my fragrance wardrobe, no matter what I have in a fragrance collection. I have a fragrance wardrobe. You might have a collection. These are 10 fragrances. If you come into my inbox and you say, hey, I need 10 or I need one, I will always recommend one of these 10. Are there others? Sure. But one of these 10 will always get recommended by me. Before we get it, you might not like every fragrance on here. That's okay. I'm not asking you to like them. That's why this is a list of 10 I would always recommend. You can leave the 10 you always recommend down in the comment below, but this is my list. There's no need to argue or fuss and fight about it. Just my opinion. That's why it's what I would recommend, not what you would recommend. Got it? Boom. Let's go. Let's get to the video. Before we start, I'm going to give really one honorable mention, but an honorable mention with an alternative. So a fragrance I will always recommend, but it's hard to get. I was able to double up on this fragrance. It is a must-have in my wardrobe. To the point I'm thinking about tripling up on this fragrance because it is discontinued, but I just think they're selfish. I think I don't really need to do that with everything I have. But just from the House of Fragrance Du Bois, and that's London Oud. London Oud, 1 in the 2, 1 in the 2. I can spray away now. Now, what is this fragrance? This fragrance here is everything to me. You have mint in this fragrance, Ashley. You have mint, aquatics, citruses. This is, I've always said, and I think it's the best example. If you take old school Aqua de Gel and you blended it with like Chanel Platinum Egoiste and you merged them and created a Frankenstein, it would somewhat be that. Trust me, if you buy those two fragrances and blend it, you're not going to get this. It is just blend to absolute perfection. There's a spiciness in it from that mint. I believe geranium might be in here too. I think rose or something might be in here. I'm not for sure. But this is the ultimate signature scent of masculine fragrance, almost within my fragrance wardrobe. It's one of my favorites within my wardrobe. I do not double up on everything. Everything doesn't require a double up. This, Faith, and a few other fragrances I have double ups on. I will always recommend this fragrance. The problem is you can't find it. Now, people have asked in different videos what's a good alternative. There really are no good alternatives per se, but what I will say is the best alternative for it would be London Spice. London Spice from the same house from Fragrance Du Bois. Now, London Spice to me is, if this was my spring and summer fragrance, this would be my autumn and winter fragrance. Now, I can wear this in autumn and winter. Don't get it twisted. This is signature scent. But I can wear this in the spring and summer too. This just tends, what I find with this one is this is just woodier to me. Slightly, it still has that, it's not as aquatic, not as aquatic. It has some aquatic nuances to it. It's not as aquatic. It's a little bit woodier. And I feel like it's a lot spicier. I feel like the aromatics in this is turned up, not by a mile, but it's turned up a little bit more that makes it different from this. If you haven't seen my comparison video, it's look on my page down, my videos, you to see my comparison video between the two. But to me, this is still a king over this. But if you needed an alternative, as close as you're going to get with extremely good materials and everything else, like not buying a clone somewhere, because I don't know no clones that are cloned it, this is going to be your best bet. London Spice. I will always recommend this composition to any man. Always. Moving on. Okay, this list not going to be in any order, although my last fragrance would be my number one as I'm looking at it laid out. My last fragrance I'm gonna talk about would be my number one fragrance. But hold on. I'm gonna have to re-edit that. Hold on. Because I might have one more honorable mention. Because I forgot this should be over here. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we got one more honorable mention. My next and last honorable mention is one that I just think overall is a good summer banger. This is one that definitely has mint in it. Now, the mint could be a little bit strong. This is a fragrance that literally will last all day on your skin. A lot of people like it. Some people don't like it. It's kind of like a mixed bag on who likes it or not. But this is just one I would recommend, especially if you want a fresh mint fragrance. And this is from the house of Xerjoff, and this is Torino 21. Torino 21. Yeah, man. This lasts all day long. It's kind of loud, to be honest. But this mint here is turned up and is dialed in. It's like it's fresh, but it's like it's not as cooling. It's more herbaceous. It's aromatic, but it's like really herbaceous. Like, and that's where I think the mint is the star of the show here. And I think that could be the problem, where it's not the citruses and the mint supporting it. This is more of a mint fragrance with everything else supporting it. So if you don't want a mint fragrance, although there's tons of fragrances that have mint, if you don't want a mint fragrance, this might not be for you, which is why it's an honorable mention. But this is one I would tell people. If somebody say, hey man, I want a mint fragrance, this is one of the first ones that come to mind. Again, if they say I want a citrus fragrance with mint, or if I want a mint fragrance, will determine how I would recommend this. But if you want a mint forward fragrance, this is one you should definitely get your nose on. This is Torino 21 from the house of Xerjoff, my last honorable mention. All right. We're going to do this. I'm going to try to speed this up and do this fast so we can have a talk. I might be able to do this in 15 minutes. We'll see. I'll try to be brief and just kind of get to it. We will see how that works because I'm long-winded. All right. Again, none of these fragrances are in any order outside of like my last two. My last two would be my number one and number two. But the rest of these fragrances, just these are all 10 fragrances I would recommend regardless. Wherever you're going, put it on and go. I will forever recommend these fragrances. So coming in at number 10, again, I'm just number 10 because it's what it is, but it's not a ranked list. This is from the House of Montclair. This is La Corday. La Corday. I was the first person coming in here really talking about this. One of the first people on the internet really talking about this. This doesn't have tea in the notes, but this comes off like a tea-based fragrance to me. I believe cypress is, I think cypress is in here. This is green, citrus, fresh. I believe it's bergamot, but there's the way these notes play with each other where it comes off like a lemon tea scent. Although neither notes are listed in here. To me, I like this a lot. And when I say a lot, I like this a lot better than Imagination. Absolutely, without a doubt. It performs like a champ. There isn't a person walking the planet Earth that won't like this. Now, is this like a groundbreaking niche? I need the nichiest of niche fragrances and I must need something that, no, it's not overly complex. It's simplistic. But sometimes when you wear this and it's high heat, humid, I'm telling you, there isn't a person. This thing does numbers when it comes to compliments. It does. It is a no brainer, and it doesn't smell cologne, man. You just smell fresh, green, and good. Period. Hands down. I will always recommend this fragrance. Always. La Corday from Montclair. Moving on at number 10. Coming in at number 9. This has the dents of dents. Seems like, I don't know, I might make it the rest of this year, maybe half of next year before I need another bottle. This is a fragrance every man should have in his collection. Every man, you should have it. I don't know if I respect your fragrance wardrobe if you don't have this in your fragrance wardrobe. It is that good. When you talk about compliments, I'm talking compliments from younger women to the older. No R. Kelly, no Diddy. It just works. It works. I've had people, this thing does numbers. Everybody who has it will tell you it does numbers. You should just have it. I don't recommend blind buying all the time. This is one I'm always going to tell people to blind buy. This is from the house of Essential Parfums. This is Bar Imperial. Look at that, bro. One of my most worn fragrances in my fragrance wardrobe. I've had fragrances I've had a lot longer that doesn't have this much dent in it. It's just, and this lasts all day. I don't care how old I am. This will always do numbers, and it doesn't smell cologne. Part of it almost smells like a cloud of fresh laundry. There's some woods in here, tons of molecules. Quentin Beach did his thing on this. It doesn't smell like Ganymede. It's damn near more approachable because it doesn't have that aquatic suede thing going on. This is just warm, soft, clean, and fresh in the non-citric type of way. Bois Imperial, it doesn't matter. Buy it, bro. I don't say things. Some things in life aren't blind buy. Most things in life aren't blind buy. This isn't one. You can blind buy this. It works. And it's inexpensive. The cheapest, most affordable fragrance you can ever buy. You can never go wrong wearing this. Ever. I don't care where you are. You don't need a lot of sprays. It's going to work. Bois Imperial at number 9. Again, this is not ranked at all. Moving on. Ten, 9, 8. Coming in number 8 is a citrus fragrance. I've been recommending. Let me do that again. Was number 8? All right. Coming in at number 8 is a citrus fragrance I have been recommending for years. I will forever recommend this fragrance. This fragrance does numbers. It is, just buy it, bro. Buy it. This is one, there are very few fragrances that when I run out, I will buy another bottle. Every fragrance on this list, when I run out, I will buy another bottle. I cannot say that for 80% of the rest of my fragrance wardrobe. When I run out, it was just an experience. It was cool to have. I'm moving on. These I will always come back to. This is from the house of Hermes. This is Eau Givre. Eau Givre. Again, dents don't lie, bro. What is this? This is grapefruit juice. This is one of the best grapefruit fragrances out there. I know you're going to look at the notes. You're not going to see grapefruit. Trust me, it's just grapefruit juice. It is done in the non-musky way. Sometimes grapefruit can come off a little musky on skin, like sweat musky. This doesn't do that for me. It's like grapefruit and vetiver and musk. This is perfection. I will run when I run out because I believe this is refillable. Yep, refillable. A lot of Hermes fragrances are refillable. I will buy another bottle, a refill bottle. I will refill it. Eau Givre from the house of Hermes at number 8. Always recommend. Moving on. Coming in at number 7. Again, if I was ranking it, this would have been higher. These are all heat. When I run out, I will repurchase this fragrance. To me, when it comes to this particular DNA, pound for pound for pound, irregardless of price, this might be the best all around of the DNA. And this is from Mebusus, and this is A Wondrous Flight. If you like the Tigar DNA, this is if you see my video, I have at least 12 type of Tigar DNA fragrances. I've worn a lot of them. This is the only one that constantly gets compliments. Constantly gets compliments. Constantly. More than Vibrato, more than $1,000 Bodicea bottle called Tiger, more than Tigar. Is not as dry. And I think part of it is because of the citruses is very, it has less, I don't believe ambroxans in here, but the vetiver, it might be in here, but the vetiver, there's a lot of other woods in here, which I think that cedar might be cedar vetiver combo. It's just, to me, pound for pound, like Tiger is incredible from Bodicea. Is it worth $1,000? Hell no. But the way that mojito vibe hits is a thing. But even if that bottle wasn't discontinued, when I'm out of Tiger, I would never look to buy that again. Ever. It's good. Pound for pound. But when it comes to what around you people love, compliments, just when you weigh everything out, price, everything, you don't need any clones from the clone houses. No, bro, you don't need none of that. Just get this. Just get it, bro. I'm telling you, out of everybody who has I have 12 different variations of this Tigar DNA. I have them all from inexpensive to expensive. This pound for pound is the best one. This does numbers every single time I wear it. Mebusus, Wondrous Flight. At number, 7? Moving on. 10, 9, 8, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Coming in, hold on. Number 6. All right. Coming in number 6 is a fragrance that lasts all effing day long. This fragrance, I was first introduced to this fragrance from a clone house back in 2017, 16, I think. Um, I was one of those people who said, yeah, the clones smell like kind of like the real thing. It's not worth it. But I love this DNA so much that I had to get the OG. And this was the first one that I had a clone. I got the OG. And when I got the OG, I said, the clone ain't touching it with a 10-foot pole. Then I started looking at the other clones I had from that house, and I started getting OGs, and I was like, yeah, this ain't it. Now, yes, I know clones have gotten better since 2018, 19, 20. That ain't the point of this conversation. The point is that there's things about this that makes it special. And this is coming from the house of Francis Kurt John, and this is Aqua Celestial Forte. Aqua Celestial Forte. What you get here is lemon lime. There is a carbonation thing with this fragrance. It's almost carbonated, and it is like Sprite-esque. It zings, it sparkles, it's fizzy. There's a greenness to this fragrance. It's almost a little bit floral too. It has that aquatic Quentin Biche thing. I'm not Quentin Biche, Jacques Cavalier thing going on without being sea fishy, eggy aquatics. It is, and when I say the Forte lasts on skin all effing day, it the scent trail is just, there's almost like this petrichor kind of thing to it. Like it smells like the rain. It's like it's a lot going on with this. I've had the clones. Um, and the clone was amazing. Don't get me wrong, absolutely stunning, amazing. It wasn't this. It was not this. Have they gotten better? I'm sure they have, but I'm cool. This is Aqua Celestial Forte at number 6. Moving on. All right, put this here because I don't want to break nothing. Oh man. All right. All right, number 5. Coming in number 5 is a fragrance that if somebody came to me and said, hey, I want to get into this house, what's the first fragrance I should get from this house? I would always recommend this fragrance. This fragrance is the house magnum opus. It's the house of Ventus. This fragrance, to me, even though it's not necessarily what defines the house, to me, when it comes to, because I have almost all of them, or I've smelled all of them from the house, this fragrance kind of defines what the house is to me. It is their, like I said, it's their magnum opus. This is from the house of Day 3 Fragrances, and this is Desert Rain. Desert Rain. This is, if somebody said I want to get into Day 3 Fragrances, I mean, I can point them in the right direction on almost anything from the house. But Desert Rain is leathery. It's like a modern Shepra. Here's the thing with how I feel, how good I think Day 3 Desert Rain is. First of all, Desert Rain is a 9.5, 10 fragrance. period, hands down. If Mike wasn't an indie perfumer and he worked for somebody like Raja or maybe even Zherzhov, not only would this cost more, but this is the kind of fragrance that other fragrance houses will be inspired by and will clone. The way people got Aventus, the way people got Aventus in kind of doing their own thing, for a fragrance that came out within the last 2 years, for it to be so unique, so different, so opulent, inspiring, signature scent wear, anywhere you want to wear it, it doesn't smell cologne-y. It is Desiree. I will always recommend. I did a first impression. Check out the video on it. Somebody say day 3 fragrances. I'm gonna say Desiree. Yes, originally you want to say La Cité de Café because that's what the first one I think everybody was kind of really introduced to the house by. But when it comes to like the magnum, I think this is really the magnum opus of the house, and that's Desiree at number 5. Moving on. All right. Coming in at number 4. Number 4 is a fragrance that was gifted to me. Oh, and Desiree was gifted to me as well. Transparency. This fragrance was gifted to me. I'm going to show you the dent. When the OG came out, well, the first rendition of this fragrance came out, I loved it. A lot of people, it's a hit and miss with some people. To me, I'm cool with like ocean breeze kind of fragrances, aquatics. This one, I think, made those people who didn't like the original one happier because they added pink pepper, made it spicier, but still kept the DNA of the aquatics. This is from the house of Zaharoff, and this is Seraphine Red. Seraphine Red. Listen, man, you don't have to believe me. If somebody said, I want to get into Zaharoff, I want a signature scent fragrance, easy to wear, something I can bang out in the summer or, whenever I'm kind of into aquatics. If that's how they describe the fragrance to me, and Zaharoff has some really good fragrances. But if somebody came to me and that was their brief, I would say, why don't you get you a sample of Seraphine Red and tell me what you think? I would start them there and then branch out elsewhere. I would branch out. Seraphine Red, again, I like blue. Don't get it twisted. I like blue. I believe eucalyptus is in here as well, which comes off a little minty, spicy. Pink pepper, I think, is really what sets the show with this. If I'm not mistaken, it's the pink pepper that's really like still in the show on this. But this is soapy, aquatic, soft, but extremely spicy. I think makes it more wearable. Again, look how many fragrances I have. Go look and see when this fragrance came out and ask yourself, why is my dent this much? Because I like it that much. Seraphine Blue is even lower. But I personally like Seraphine Blue, but I think Red is just a much easier, it's just a easier wear. I just think it's an easier wear for people who didn't care for blue. I think it's an easier wear. Blue works for me. Red is even better. It gives more of a nighttime, it makes it more signature scent almost. where Seraphine Blue is more situational aquatics. Like you kind of got to be in that vibe. This is just like you don't have to be in the vibe. I'm about to go somewhere. Let me wear this. Let me just put this on. Yeah, man. Seraphine, I'm always, again, gifted. I still feel the same way. My dents don't lie. Moving on. Coming in at number 3 is a fragrance that doesn't get talked about as much. When you start thinking about fragrances that hold on, my camera shift. Let me do this again. Something just happened. I must have accidentally kicked my camera. All right. Do it again. Coming in number 3 is a fragrance that doesn't get talked about enough in FragCom. I don't know why, but this is a summer gem for me. I've used it down. I need to get me another refill of this fragrance. When it comes to this style of fragrance, you would think when you have fragrances like Xerjoff Neo and stuff of that nature, this fits in that realm. But when it comes to compliments, for whatever reason, this gets a ton of compliments. This house has been on the low. It's put out a lot of misses as of, well, kind of, not a lot of misses, kind of put out a few misses. But this, man, is citruses, is fresh. I feel like I was getting mint in here, but I don't believe it's mint. I think it's eucalyptus as well. This is from the house of Killian, and this is Killian Cologne Shield of Protection. Killian Cologne Shield of Protection. I wish I can show you, which you really can't see. I guess you can see it shake. Like the bottle's like down here. The liquid's down here. I'm gonna have to get me another refill. Like this thing gets bro. This is green. I believe it's fresh bergamot, like that Italian style bergamot. And to me, I think when it comes to Italian citruses, Paris Monte Carlo and Xerjoff almost does. Like when you start talking about like Calabrian, Bergamot, Calabrian, and things of that nature, I just think Xerjoff and like Paris Monte Carlo do it like Italian citruses like to perfection. I think this is up there, bro. Killian Cologne Shield of Protection is up there when you want to wear that kind of fragrance. Now, longevity, about 6 hours is where I'm getting on this. And I spray a little heavy. I go about 10 minimum on this. But it's just, it citrus, high heat. Just put this on and let it do what it do. Let it do what it do. And that's at number 3. Moving on. Coming in at number 2, I know since I've been doing all this, some of y'all who's watched me for a while has had to say, we haven't heard this fragrance yet. Why this fragrance has to be on this list? It has to be coming up. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't. And you're right, it has to be coming up. It's number 2, could be shocking to some, but maybe it's maybe newness has this at number 2. Not that this fragrance is new, but my number 1 is newer. But I just think this is just clutch. Y'all already know how I feel about it. I'm not going to belabor the point. This is from the house of Raja. This is our Solar Blue. This needs to be in 100 ml. Our Solar Blue. This is vetiver, citrus, lime. I feel like I get this mojito thing going on. Is mint in this? I'm not sure if mint's in here. If not, there's a minty quality to it. Could be geranium. It could be cardamom. It could be, but there's this almost mojito fresh on top of like this burst of citruses up top that makes our Solar Blue with woods, musk. It's just, our Solar Blue is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. It's perfection. It's my number 2. If you've been watching me for some time, you know how I feel about it. I'm not going to keep talking about it. You know what it is. Number 2, I will always. If somebody says House of Raja, I want to buy something, Isola Blue, you start there. Not Elysium, Isola Blue. Just start there. Start there. Start at perfection and then just go down. This Isola Blue at number 2. Right almost at 3 hours. Well, a little bit 3:10, so that's about right. We're going to answer some questions, then we're going to get up out of here. We're going to do number 1. So about 3 hour live. That's kind of where I've been, so I'm not mad at that. God damn. All right. Coming in at number 1. Listen, my 2 and my 1 would have been 2 and 1 even if I was going to rank these. Without a doubt. A lot of y'all know how I feel about Isola Blue at number 2. It's perfection. It's a 10 out of 10. This is another 10 out of 10 fragrance. This is one, even though an expensive fragrance, I have contemplated buying a backup bottle of this. I've contemplated. I don't need it, but I've contemplated it. I still might, because you're not going to find this fragrance on discounters. You have to pay retail for this. There is no discount for this. Retail only. But this is the ultimate. It's creamy. It's aldehydic. It's citruses. One of the best citruses from the house. I would argue the best citrus fragrance from the house. From the house of Raja, this is Harrods Parfum Pour Homme. Harrods Parfum Pour Homme. This fragrance here, Joe, it is absolute masterpiece, class, sophistication, elegance, everything you want from a, listen, a lot of y'all, and I get it, especially clone people or people who just don't have the money. I'm not going to say don't have the money, don't want to spend a lot of money on fragrances, just hasn't experienced this because there is no discount for this. You're going to get this from Raja's London. Don't get it from Raja's London website because they don't charge you tariffs. The other Raja websites charge you tariffs. So remember, Raja London is where you're going to get this from if you want to bypass tariff fees. But this by far is the best citrus fragrance from Raja. Easily top 5 fragrance from Raja, period, hands down. Not just, forget the fact that it's complex and it's constantly changing. Forget that, because that just makes this elegant, classy, everything. But the way it's constructed, the way it transforms, the way it wears, the way it makes you feel, everything about this fragrance is definitely puts it in the top 5 of all Rajas ever created that let me back that up. All Rajas that I own, because I don't own everything that's created. This is a stunning, masculine masterpiece that's going to cost you almost $5 bills. $5 bills. It's going to cost you about $5 bills. And I'm even thinking about getting a backup bottle. It's that good. But I said, you know what? Let me go through half of it first. And then when I get halfway, then I'll get a backup bottle. That's the deal I told myself. Because it's not discontinued. If word was that it was getting discontinued, I might buy 2 backup bottles. Matter of fact, I'm telling you, I'm buying 2 backup bottles. Because I knew I should have bought 2 backup bottles of Faith. I didn't, and look at it now. If word comes out, it may be discontinued. I'm buying 2 backup bottles. This is a stunning masterpiece. One of the best fragrances Raja has ever made. It's universal. Harrods Parfum Pour Homme. A stunning, masculine masterpiece of a fragrance I will always recommend. If you want to drop some coin, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to recommend it. Always. That's my number 1. Would be my number 1, even though it wasn't ranked. Harrods Parfum Pour Homme. So those are my 10 fragrances within my fragrance wardrobe I will forever recommend. 10 fragrances I will always recommend. It does not matter from today, tomorrow, the future, 20 years from. I will recommend these 10 fragrances. I will. Somebody, hey, I want to get some fragrances. Give me this. Do you have, anytime somebody come in my inbox, once I edit this video, once this video is put out, if somebody come in my inbox, say, hey man, I need a new fragrance, what should I get? I'm gonna say, hey, have you watched this video? They're gonna say, yeah, I watched the video, or no, I haven't. I'm gonna say, watch this video. If they say, yeah, but I want something new, I'm gonna say, do you own every one of these 10 fragrances? If they say no, I'm gonna say, okay, start buying. And then come back to me when you bought all 10 of these. Then we can talk. I'm going to always recommend these 10. Get one of these 10, if not all of these 10. With that being said, leave your 10 must-have or 10 you always recommend. Peace. All right. We good for the night, bro. Let me read some comments, see what's up, and then we're going to get up out of here. I know it's almost time to leave because my water damn near gone. So let me read some comments, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. I appreciate it. Listen, y'all rocking me till 11. Oh, $6.50? Oh, that's how much I paid? I don't know. I don't be looking at the price, bro. It's like going to a steakhouse. Sometimes you just don't look at the price. You go to a steakhouse, you know that's a $400. If you're taking a date, that's a $400 bill. If you're going to a prime restaurant, like if you gonna take a date out and you know you're going to a prime like restaurant, you already should know that one, a really good restaurant is a la carte. Sorry, if you get a main course with some sides, that's not like top flight restaurant. Like restaurant is, oh, I want the Chilean sea bass with some risotto. Okay, well, if you want some broccoli, if you want some other things, guess what? That's a la carte. That's $15 for that. You want some broccoli, you want some asparagus, that's $15. You want some more risotto, that's $15, like 12 to 15. Like stuff start adding up. You start buying drinks, 2 drinks, that's like almost $20 a drink. You at least gonna have 4 drinks on the date, at least 4. You're gonna have, you know what I mean? And you might get a bottle of wine, but let's just say 4 drinks, that's almost like 120, give or take. By the time you get the food, that's a $400 a night, bro. By the time you do tip, that's $410. You don't even look at the bill. Like when you go on those dates, you know that's how I look at that, Raja. It's just like, I already know I'm gonna spend. Oh, if it's less than 1,000, I'll be like, okay, cool. That's kind of where I'm at. But keep in mind, I also don't buy every single thing. Like I just don't. I can go 6-7 months and not buy nothing. I'm cool until something really excites me. You know what I'm saying? Until something excites me. But yeah, $6.50, that's crazy. I ain't know I paid that much. But you know, it is what it is. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. I guess Mike showed up in here. Huba Gaunt. Okay. Huba Gaunt, classy gentleman. Aqua Celestial Forte is fire. Bar Imperial retails like $130 now. Didn't that joint used to be like $110, $115, or was it $95? I thought that joint used to be like $90. But I think Bar Imperial, some places, I think Bar Imperial, I think you can find that at discounters now. So yeah, do that or whatever the case is. I'll see what I can find on YouTube shopping, because I didn't get an opportunity to put none of these on YouTube shopping. So if you see these videos, by all means, if you hit YouTube shopping, you will give me some credit on that. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, Bois Imperial does numbers, man. If you don't have Bois Imperial in your fragrance wardrobe, I don't really respect your fragrance wardrobe. You need to step your game up. I don't know if I respect your fragrance wardrobe. I don't think I respect your fragrance game if you don't have Bois Imperial. You know what I mean? It ain't the Rajas and everything else you need in your fragrance wardrobe. It's fragrances like Bois Imperial. If you don't have that, I don't respect your fragrance wardrobe. Anyway, listen, man. It's been fun. It's over 3 hours. It's been good. I got some editing to do to edit some of this stuff to do sample videos for those who didn't get the opportunity to see the whole live. I appreciate those who stayed in and commented for the engagement. Please hit the like button on your way out. I don't know when I'm going live again. I might try to go live next Monday. We'll see. But other than that, man, I appreciate the engagement. I'm going to try to come up with at least 5 more fragrance lists, at least 3 fragrance lists. I still want to do those Zerjals, but you know, full presentations get priority. Full bottles presentations get priorities over samples because I have a whole my Bergdorf. So I pay retail for stuff. I pay retail like the Raja that comes at Bergdorf. I pay retail for that. That's and I heard the new one's gonna be like 14. Somebody said it might be 16. I don't know. See, the beauty with buying retail is one for that Raja that's going to come out in December, November. I'm already putting money to the side, like $125 a month. I put that to a side on a separate account. I don't see it. $125 a month that come out. So that's way if that fragrance come out for like $1,400, $1,300, I don't care. It's like I've already paid for it. That money you'd be like, damn, you paid it for a $1,400 fragrance, yeah, but I've been saving for a whole year because you know it's coming at the end of the year. So I save for that. So I'm gonna get that fragrance. What was I talking about? I'm lost my train of thought. Oh, Bergdorf, buying at Bergdorf. Because I buy at Bergdorf, my salesperson, I've had bags of samples, boxes of samples. I got what fragrance house is over there? It's a luxury clothing brand that has fragrances that they are sold at Bergdorf, and I have literally samples of the whole lineup. I can't think of what the name is. It's a like ultra luxury brand, like you know what I mean, like a Montclair kind of thing. I just can't think. I think Sebastian might have talked about this house. I'm not for sure, but if anybody talked about this house, it'd probably be Sebastian. But I got samples. I've been meaning to talk about those fragrances for a long time, but they're samples. I've had these fragrances for over a year. Those samples for over a year. I get stuff sent to me all the time, and because I pay retail, when the new Raja comes out, the employees smell it before it comes out. I got my sample of champagne at BG before it even went on sale because I pay retail. So he'll give me a sample, say what you think. Do you want me to secure you a bottle? I'm like, yeah, secure me a bottle. He has my credit card on file. Yes, my debit card on file. Yeah, secure that bottle. So listen, I feel like champagne at BG was like 1,100 or 12. I feel like tea at BG was like 11, 12. I feel like champagne was 12, 13. I heard this new one's going to be 14. Like, I don't know what bro. But I save for the year, so it is what it is. But that's the beauty of sampling is I have a whole tote box I'm looking at across from me. That's a whole tote box of samples. Like I was going to do a video like, yo, pick out the box. Like, you know what I mean? Pick out the box, and just talk about some stuff that's in the box. Like I'm not looking at it. I'm just going to pick random things out, smell it, and be like, oh, I got samples. Let me just see what this hitting on. Anything from Killian to obscure niche houses, like I got stuff over there. So, you know what I mean? I got so many bottles and it ain't like I be wearing them, and I just never prioritize samples. Samples just, they normally set in boxes forever. I don't prioritize them. Full presentations always get prioritization. Anyway, I'm not going to belabor that, man. Y'all get y'all some sleep. Have a good night. Appreciate your support. Hit the like button on the way out. With that being said, no music outro. We just going to say it. I'm gonna read you. I'm gonna end this live the way I greeted you, and that's in universal language of peace. Peace, love, and happiness. Peace.